In times of great uncertainty, some things become more clear. The things we take for granted, the people we depend on daily. Here at 11 Alive, we'd like to say thank you. First responders, medical staff, sanitation workers, truck drivers, postal workers, and every brave Georgian doing their part to make a difference. We see you, we hear you, and we appreciate all that you do.
Let's start with a viral message going around. Quote, vast majority of people who died had ibuprofen Advil in their system. This message is fake.
We just bought 20 dust masks for $97.
Are you doing this to help people, or are you doing this to make money, or both?
Both. Take this email sent to the Verify team. Is it safe to have your house cleaned by outside workers? The best practice is to limit guests to emergencies only.
We know things are changing every day, but we're here with you. Continuous COVID-19 coverage during prime time. We're committed to giving you facts, not fear, on 11 Alive News Prime Time, weeknights from 8 to 11 on WATF.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Tonight on Primetime, widespread Atlanta violence, deadly shootings, destructive demonstrations all around the city. Governor Kemp now calling up Georgia State Guard in an effort to create, let's try that again, in a state of emergency, and we will have details on that coming up. Stone Mountain Police forced to let the rules slide when confronted by dozens of heavily armed demonstrators. What the city may do next. And coronavirus cases still rising in Georgia. We look into why many are still struggling to get tested despite more sites opening around the state.
11 Alive News Primetime on the ATL starts now.
We begin with a developing story tonight. Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms has tested positive for COVID-19. This just before 6 o'clock tonight. She tweeted, COVID-19 has literally hit home. I have had no symptoms and have tested positive. Shortly after the announcement, the mayor appeared on MSNBC. She spoke to Joy Reid about contracting COVID-19.
I will be in one place in my home office for the next 2 weeks and praying that the rest of my family is healthy. I have, I've talked about my kids before, so they of course are a concern. And I was even with my mother on yesterday. And so, I mean, this is startling for me because we've been so very careful. But certainly we are not immune. And again, this is just a lesson to everyone that you have to take every single symptom seriously. And as I see this growing list of symptoms, you can't assume that it's seasonal allergies. You can't assume that a mild cough are your seasonal allergies. We all need to be tested. And in my case, test it regularly because, like I said, this is probably my second test within a month.
The mayor's positive COVID-19 test now comes on the heels of a violent weekend in the city of Atlanta. The mayor met with the family of an 8-year-old girl who was killed on Saturday night. She says she notified Secoria Turner's family about possible exposure to the virus and encouraged them to get tested. More than 24 people were hurt in the shootings. 4 others were also killed. This is the reason that Governor Kemp issued an executive order to curb the violence. With that order, the state can activate up to 1,000 Georgia National Guard troops. It is a state of emergency. They will help APD increase their presence in the community, along with providing security along state buildings. One of the shootings over the weekend killed 8-year-old Secoria Turner. They say she was riding with her mother and a friend Saturday when they tried to turn into a parking lot on Pryor Road, not far from where Rayshard Brooks had been killed. According to police, they were confronted by an armed group who had blocked the entrance. That's when someone started firing at the car. For weeks, there had been complaints about that group that they had gathered around the burned out Wendy's where Brooks was killed. Some say that they are heavily armed and blocking roads, but tonight the group who maintains the memorial is denouncing the shooting. Here is Joe Hankey.
8-year-old Secoria Turner shot minutes before 10 p.m. on Saturday while riding in the back seat of her mom's car. Last night, her parents called the shooting senseless.
They say Black Lives Matter. You killed your own. Killed your own this time. Just because of a barrier. They killed my baby because she crossed the barrier and made a U-turn. You killed a child.
Secoria remembered this afternoon with a moment of silence during a virtual Atlanta City Council meeting.
If Black Lives Matter has to matter all the time. We can't have in vitro racial self-hatred affecting us and killing us all.
Atlanta police told 11 Alive Turner's mom exited onto University Road from the downtown connector, and according to police, as she attempted to enter a parking lot, an armed group blocked the entrance. At some point, the car was shot at and the 8-year-old was hit. Secoria was rushed to Atlanta Medical Center but did not survive. The shooting happened across the street from the Wendy's where Rayshard Brooks was shot and killed by Atlanta police on June 12th. People living in the area tell 11 Alive groups have been putting up roadblocks and turning to violence at times to keep people out of the area. A group that maintained a memorial outside of the Wendy's since Brooks' death and is pushing for it to be turned into a peace center denounced the murder of Secoria.
While the unfortunate death occurred near the memorial site, none of our activists, community members, or neighbors were involved in this shooting.
Secoria Turner's mother now begging for the public's help.
My baby didn't mean no harm. Somebody knows something.
We have reached out to Atlanta police asking if there are any updates on this case, but there has been no response. Over the weekend, police released few details about two possible shooters. One described as wearing all black, and they described him looking like a bounty hunter, and the second was wearing a white t-shirt. Turner's killing was the start of a violent Saturday night. Here's a look at the shootings that followed throughout Atlanta. 14 people were shot while watching a fireworks display on Auburn Avenue. 2 of those victims died. Police say at some point a vehicle hit someone, which led to a fight between several, and multiple people fired shots from weapons. For several weeks, those living in the Sweet Auburn neighborhood have been asking police for help in controlling the large parties that have gathered there. APD says it would work to address those issues this weekend. 11 Alive's Caitlin Ross listened to a virtual Atlanta City Council meeting where both council members and members of the public had different ideas on how to create change.
People really want to be heard on this issue. The City Council president announced there was 13.5 hours of public comment, so they'd have to delay hearing the rest of the agenda until tomorrow.
We're now going to go into a moment of silence.
The start of the City Council meeting was quiet as members honored people killed by gun violence over the weekend in Atlanta. The public comment section was anything but, with hundreds of people calling in to talk about the violence.
People are dying. People are being murdered.
This caller expressed support for the Rayshard Brooks bill that would reallocate $73 million from the Atlanta police budget to different community-based initiatives. There were a number of people who agreed.
Policing and public safety really needs to change in a major way here in Atlanta.
But others spoke strongly in favor of APD, saying officers are doing the best they can to stem the violence under difficult circumstances.
Crime in Atlanta has gone through the roof. This is insane if you think it's a good idea to defund the police. We are concerned, and we do not support defunding the police.
That public comment will be playing continuously on the City of Atlanta website until 4 o'clock in the morning. City Council members will then reconvene tomorrow to vote on that initiative that could reallocate some Atlanta police funding.
We have more on 11alive.com about Atlanta's violent holiday weekend, including a breakdown of every shooting and what we know so far. You can find that on our website or on the 11 Alive app. Protesters also damaging Georgia's Department of Public Safety headquarters, the State Patrol building over the weekend. The State Patrol telling us dozens marched on the building on United Avenue in southeast Atlanta early on Sunday morning, dressed in dark clothing, some in masks, many bringing rocks, fireworks, and spray paint. They vandalized the building, spray painted it, and also a car on the outside, then started a small fire in one of the offices. DPS personnel were working inside. They were able to put it out safely. 2 employees were treated for smoke inhalation.
Well, a line of showers and thunderstorms is moving to the northwest at around 10 miles per hour this evening. You can see it here on the radar. I'm meteorologist Samantha Moore, and your 11 Alive storm trackers have been watching some of these very heavy downpours, so localized flooding possible. Many of these areas like Mossy Creek stretching up towards Tallulah Falls, where they're seeing some really good rain right now. Gets a little lighter down towards Lawrenceville for the moment, then into Atlanta, and then Heard County, Carroll County. That's where it is really coming down right now, where you can see the heaviest rain, the oranges and the reds there on your screen in Heard County, just north of Central Hatchie. And these storms that just went through LaGrange are now bringing in some heavy rain and frequent lightning there across much of eastern Alabama. So I queried how many strikes are in Georgia right now. 22 or 21 within the last 15 minutes alone as this line works its way to the northwest. So this is primarily a heavy rainmaker. We're not expecting severe weather with this, but we are expecting to see some ponding on the roadways because we have an atmosphere rich in moisture as this area of low pressure is working its way across southern and middle Georgia tonight, making its way towards the Carolina coast, possibly for the weekend. Now the National Hurricane Center giving it a 40% chance of development once we get to the end of the week and into the weekend. So coming up, we'll talk about how this area of low pressure is going to affect us for much of the week.
Confirmed COVID-19 cases continue to rise in Georgia, but saw a dip compared to this time last week. Earlier today, the Georgia Department of Public Health reported 1,548 new cases. That's about half of what was reported last week when the state experienced a record number of cases. There are several reasons behind the drop. There were a reduced number of testing sites open during the 4th of July weekend, and on top of that, big commercial labs like Quest and LabCorp are warning of a backlog, which is why it is taking longer to get results right now. While fewer positive tests are great news, our hospitalization trend is cause for concern. Georgia's active patients, these are the people currently receiving care, hit a new record high today. The state's death number is still fairly low, which is, of course, good news. But doctors warn that the increase in deaths often follow about 3 weeks after a spike in cases. So it may be some time before we see how today's hospitalization record impacts the death toll. Coronavirus testing is ramping back up now that the holiday weekend is over, and several community groups have partnered with the State Department of Public Health to offer a free testing site in Southwest Atlanta. And this one you can walk up to. Here's Christy Diaz with more.
If you had a hard time finding a COVID test over the weekend, well, it's because there weren't many available. But that changes today.
A free COVID-19 testing site is up and running in Southwest Atlanta in the parking lot of the Lakewood Christian Manor Senior Living Community. You can walk or drive up anytime from 9 to 4, and you don't need symptoms or a doctor's note to get tested. You'll get the results in 48 hours. Over the weekend, testing sites like this one were closed for the 4th of July holiday. Less than 20 Department of Public Health locations were open, and 0 were available in DeKalb, the county with the third highest numbers in the state. Likely because of the lack of testing available, the numbers for Sunday weren't as high as we've seen the past week. DPH reporting a slight dip at close to 2,200 new cases. That's about 600 less than we saw Saturday, where the numbers soared to more than 2,800. Still, infections are on the rise in at least 40 of the 50 states, with a record high number in at least 16 of them. Here in Georgia, the average number of cases over the past 2 weeks is around 2,200. That's the highest average since early April. And we're seeing more than 1,800 people hospitalized. Those represent the most serious cases in the state. And health experts worry large 4th of July gatherings could push that number even higher.
If you missed the testing site today, there will be another one at the end of July on the 29th at the YMCA on Campbellton Road. But remember, you can always check the DPH website to find a full list of all the testing sites statewide.
A protest at Stone Mountain made headlines over the weekend when an armed group showed up. Now the city says it is looking to do things differently. Don't forget, we're streaming right now on the 11 Alive YouTube channel. Subscribe, join the conversation in the community section. We have more news coming up right after the break.
We know things are changing every day, but we're here with you. Continuous COVID-19 coverage during prime time. We're committed to giving you facts, not fear. On 11 Alive News Primetime, weeknights from 8 to 11 on WATF.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Today at noon on 11 Alive.
We are seeing that lack of smell or altered taste can be a symptom.
We answer your coronavirus-related medical questions. Because 11 Alive is where Atlanta speaks.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11 Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11 Alive today.
Tonight, the city of Stone Mountain is re-examining policies after a large group of armed demonstrators marched into Stone Mountain Park over the weekend. While the demonstration was peaceful, no one was arrested. We are learning the group did not have a permit to be there. Here's 11 Alive's Tracy Amick-Pure, who spoke with Stone Mountain officials about how it might be handled in the future.
When you take a city as small as Stone Mountain with our 15 officers, and they are confronted with 200 plus individuals who have obviously outgunned us to do a peaceful demonstration, then we're not going to start talking about permits, and you can't come in without a permit.
Thomas Brown says the armed protesters on Saturday at Stone Mountain did not have a parade permit. But the city's public safety administrator says they weren't going to risk an altercation over the issue at the time.
That's a conversation we must have much later on down the line.
Without any notice, Police Chief Chancey Troutman says they were surprised by the number of armed marchers and had to call DeKalb County for reinforcements.
They are popping up. They're not just, we don't even notice half the time until we ride through our streets and we see people gathering. They use our jurisdiction to park in, so they want to pay to get in.
The minimum parade permit costs $250 and helps pay for police to keep the community and the protesters or paraders safe. Without one, City Manager Shaquia Thornton says the money has to come from the city's taxpayers through the general fund. But the city manager says now there could be a way to get paid back.
We are having some conversation regarding assessing permits after the fact.
It would take a change in ordinance, but Mayor Patricia Wheeler says some council members are already on board.
They've already voiced their opinion that they feel that we should at least reach out to them. Whether it would happen, that would be something in the near future to find out.
For the city of Stone Mountain to go back and charge groups for permits they didn't file in advance, it would take an ordinance change. Now that takes 2 readings and a majority vote by council. The whole process could take a month.
Tracy Amick-Pure reporting for us. She also spoke with officials at Stone Mountain Park who said the group did not have a permit with the park either.
Well, not as hot today, but definitely as humid, and we've seen those showers and storms off and on throughout the evening. I'm meteorologist Samantha Moore, and we're watching that line still move to the northwest at around 10 miles per hour, bringing in some heavy rain at times, although the overall trend, I do believe the last 30 minutes or so is weakening just a bit. And the main threat with this line has been the heavy rain. It's just been torrential in some spots, some areas picking up well over an inch here. here in South Fulton and in Coweta County as that line moved to the west. Up to 2 inches there in Hall County that came down in a very short period of time. So it is possible to run in some street flooding yet tonight. Now you can see across northeast Georgia where we still have some pretty good rainfall from Clayton stretching down towards Tallulah Falls, from Mossy Creek over towards Cartacay, and then here across the Atlanta area, mainly moderate showers here east of the connector over towards Decatur, and we're looking at some heavier downpours in Carroll County and in Heard County at this hour. So that's where the heaviest rain is really focused right now, as that line is starting to become a little less organized. But boy, as it moved to the west, it brought in quite a bit of lightning in some neighborhoods. Right now, 11 strikes in the past 15 minutes, with most of that around the Peachtree City area stretching down towards LaGrange, just west of I-85. You can see it spinning around here around an area of low pressure. That's the same low that was developing just south of Panama City yesterday and is now making its way to the northeast. So we're looking at widespread overcast showers all across the Atlanta metro area. Right now you can see little breaks in the clouds across I-75 and 285 as we look to the north. But look at this cloud cover here that our storm tracker, Sally Gustafson, captured this afternoon. Those dark bands of clouds there. Somebody on our 11 Alive Storm Tracker Facebook page commenting, it almost looks like the clouds are braided. There's like a pattern in the cloud cover there. And Gary Baldwin in Polk County capturing this photo of some very interesting scud clouds and then some cumulus clouds back behind that. So dramatic cloud cover today. Temperatures not quite as hot as yesterday. 92 yesterday, 87 today. But then once the rain moved in, our temperatures started to drop down quite a bit. In fact, we made it up into the upper 80s, and as soon as that rain moved in, temperatures dropped by some 15 degrees or so. So a nice dramatic temperature drop. We're 13 degrees cooler than we were 24 hours ago in Atlanta, 14 degrees cooler in Athens now that the rain has moved on in. So we're looking at 73 in Athens, 72 in Gainesville, and 75 right now in Duluth, with 74 in Atlanta. So it feels a little bit more comfortable out there. We're still going to have some off and on showers and thunderstorms through the evening and into the overnight as well. So don't be surprised if the dogs jump in the bed or the kids jump in the bed in the middle of the night, as the thunder will be rumbling. So a 4 on your wasometer on Tuesday, with that chance for showers and storms during the afternoon and evening hours. And that's going to continue, especially through the afternoon. Once we get just a little daytime heating, that may be enough of a trigger mechanism to trigger some more thunderstorms. So we'll see these bands working their way around that area of low pressure, almost like you see outer bands of a tropical system when it's out in the water. But it's not quite that rich in moisture, but it's rich enough that when we get a little bit of heating, we see those storms really flare up. So a few showers in the morning turning into thunderstorms later on in the day is what we're expecting on our Tuesday. That's why we have a 4 on the wasometer. And then once we head into Wednesday, once again, a pretty good chance for afternoon showers and storms once we get after lunch and in through the afternoon hours. So tropical moisture is in place. It's going to make for an unsettled week. And then once the rain starts to taper off towards the end of the week and the weekend, yeah, then the temperatures will go right back up again. So enjoy the low 80s tomorrow with that 70% chance of showers and storms, 50% chance Wednesday. Rain chances go down for the end of the week and the beginning of the weekend. And then those temperatures start to creep back up into the low 90s.
Samantha, thank you. After video of these protests showed up online, there were people in the 11 Alive Facebook comment section asking if protesters were committing a crime. So we set out to verify for you. Several people claimed you cannot openly carry a firearm while wearing a mask. Some even said it is a felony. So we reached out to the Atlanta Police Department to get the facts. They pointed us to the Georgia laws on firearms, and in the law, there is no mention of masks. Georgia does have a law that prevents wearing masks for certain purposes, but it makes no mention of firearms. And even then, APD says the governor's office has temporarily suspended enforcement of that law because of the COVID-19 pandemic. So we can verify nowhere in Georgia law does it say you can't wear a mask or a cover while on your face while you're holding a gun. Remember, if you see a claim online that you think needs to be fact-checked, you can send it to us at verify@11alive.com or tag us on Facebook or on Twitter. After an entire family tests positive for COVID-19, their 2-year-old develops a strange rash during recovery. Their words of caution to other parents coming up next.
extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11 Alive today.
In times of great uncertainty, some things become more clear. The things we take for granted, the people we depend on daily. Here at 11 Alive, we'd like to say thank you. First responders, medical staff, sanitation workers, truck drivers, postal workers, and every brave Georgian doing their part to make a difference. We see you, we hear you, and we appreciate all that you do.
Let's start with a viral message going around. Quote, vast majority of people who died had ibuprofen Advil in their system. This message is fake.
We just bought 20 dust masks for $97.
Are you doing this to help people or are you doing this to make money or both?
Both. Take this email sent to the Verify team. Is it safe to have your house cleaned by outside workers? The best practice is to limit guests to emergencies only.
We know things are changing every day, but we're here with you. Continuous COVID-19 coverage during prime time. We're committed to giving you facts, not fear, on 11 Alive News Prime Time, weeknights from 8 to 11 on WATF.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
A family is sharing their journey to recovery after their 2-year-old contracted COVID-19, and everybody else in the household also tested positive. Emily Correll with our sister station in Columbia, South Carolina, shares their story and some of the strange symptoms they experienced.
You feeling all better? Yeah.
The Moses family, Aaron, Michael, Grant, and Sawyer Kate, are on the tail end of their quarantine after COVID-19 spread through their family, starting with 2.5-year-old Sawyer Kate.
She ate dinner. It was a completely normal day. She didn't have any symptoms during the day. And then that night, we were getting ready for bed, and she spiked a fever. Like, it kind of came out of nowhere.
That fever lasted for 3 days, during which Sawyer Kate was tested for COVID-19. A few days later, after the rest of the family started to experience symptoms, her test came back positive.
And then her symptoms really seemed to kind of taper off from there. Like, they would come and go. So it would be like, 1 or 2 days she was completely normal, and then she'd wake up the next day throwing up again. So that was what was a little odd about it, is that the symptoms kind of came and went.
The rest of the family tested positive and began to quarantine and treat their symptoms. One morning, Aaron noticed her daughter scratching her legs uncontrollably at what looked like little bug bites.
I blamed the cat. My husband was like, this cat, like, it can't stand cat anyway. And so we thought it was just, like fleas or something. And we treated her with Benadryl, and then it wasn't until like later that day that I was, hold on, this isn't fleas, this was like a rash.
Their pediatrician recommended they go to the hospital, where Sawyer Kate went through numerous tests that all came back with normal results. The rash ended up being an afterthought of the virus. The doctor called it a post-viral inflammatory response.
I think that, for one, this absolutely can be contracted and spread by children, and even though she had a favorable outcome, it's a really terrible experience to have to sit in an emergency room with your 2-year-old while they're getting poked and prodded and screaming and terrified, and having to like be part of the team holding them down while they're like screaming for help. It's something that no one should have to do. And yeah.
The entire family is now on the road to recovery.
Sawyer Kate wanting to be on TV there, as we heard. Glad she's feeling better. Coming up, the city says it won't let people gather around the burned out Wendy's on University Avenue anymore. We are looking at what it can legally do about that property.
Frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Today at noon on 11 Alive.
We are seeing that lack of smell or altered taste can be a symptom.
We answer your coronavirus-related medical questions. Because 11 Alive is where Atlanta speaks.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11 Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11 Alive today.
Let's start with a viral message going around. Quote, vast majority of people who died had ibuprofen Advil in their system. This message is fake.
We just bought 20 dust masks for $97.
Are you doing this to help people or are you doing this to make money or both?
Both. Take this email sent to the Verify team. Is it safe to have your house cleaned by outside workers? The best practice is to limit guests to emergencies only.
We know things are changing every day, but we're here with you. Continuous COVID-19 coverage during prime time. We're committed to giving you facts, not fear. On 11 Alive News Primetime, weeknights from 8 to 11 on WATF.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Today at noon on 11 Alive.
We are seeing that lack of smell or altered taste can be a symptom.
We answer your coronavirus-related medical questions. Because 11 Alive.
This is what it looked like today as police cleared out the parking lot of the burned out Wendy's where Rayshard Brooks was shot and killed. For weeks, people have gathered there to protest his death at the hands of a now fired Atlanta police officer. But there have been complaints from people who live in the southeast Atlanta neighborhood that some of these protesters are armed and blocking the roads. Now that an 8-year-old girl has been killed not far from there are new calls for something to change. The mayor saying the time for conversations at that location has now come to an end.
At the request of Councilmember Shepard, our public safety chair, and our city council president, we had not completely closed the Wendy's location yet, given an opportunity to have discussions, giving them an opportunity to have discussions with the people who were still at the Wendy's. Well, we're not having any more discussions.
The next question is what to do with the building itself. The City of Atlanta and its Code Enforcement Bureau have the authority to demolish what is left of the building with notice to its owner. Legally, the owners can choose to repair the structure, agree to its demolition, or challenge any actions.
Well, keep the umbrella handy if you're going to be out and about tonight, because more showers and storms are going to be moving in. This line has been moving to the northwest at around 10 to 15 miles per hour late afternoon through the evening hours, kind of weakening in the past hour or so. So I think the trend is things lightening up for now, but there's still going to be more bands moving in as we head into the overnight and into Tuesday as well. So right now, some heavy downpours here from Cartagay stretching back towards Mossy Creek, also just east of Clayton at this hour. We're looking back at the showers that extend across Lawrenceville and across the Atlanta metro area with some isolated moderate downpours. The heaviest rain is still here in Carroll County and Heard County and stretching down into Alabama. So that's where we're seeing the heaviest of rain right now, with some of these still producing some lightning at this hour, not as much as earlier, but 8 strikes in the past 15 minutes. So we still have some electricity out there in the atmosphere that we're watching for you. And this is all because we have an area of low pressure swirling around South Georgia, and yesterday it was in the Gulf of Mexico, and we were talking about its potential of developing into something possibly tropical by the time we get to the weekend. In the meantime, you can see right now it's going to be bringing in that counterclockwise flow, which means more showers and storms for us tonight, tomorrow, and into the rest of the week. So we'll time that out for you as best we can coming up in just a few minutes.
Packed beaches and lakes all over the holiday weekend have so many people concerned about surging COVID-19 numbers. According to the CDC, more than 44,000 new cases were reported today nationwide. Some scientists suggesting good air filters could help get rid of the virus in enclosed spaces. Let's connect the dots between reopening the country and air filters.
As we learn more about coronavirus, we're learning more about how to stop the spread. And one of the ways could be a really good air filter. Let's connect the dots. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo recently announced that no large mall in the state could reopen without an air filtration system that can filter out COVID-19. This comes as infectious disease experts start to agree that this virus is aerosolized. Basically, that means it hangs out in small particles in the air, possibly for hours. That increases the danger in small enclosed spaces like offices and restaurants. One solution is better ventilation. One of the most practical ways to do that is to use high-grade HEPA filters in ventilation systems. Those can filter out many of the tiny droplets that contain the coronavirus. The only problem is most residential systems can't handle the highest grade HEPA filters. You need a large system with a motor strong enough to pull and push air through. So what can a homeowner do? First, install the highest grade filter your HVAC system can handle. It's also recommended by the EPA that you run the fan on your system because air is only pushed through that filter when the fan is on. In-room air purifiers with HEPA-rated filters also help, but experts say one of the simplest and most low-tech ways to increase ventilation in your home is to simply open a window.
Should you wear a mask while exercising outdoors? That's a question that keeps popping up. Our Verify team is now digging into new guidance from the WHO.
COVID-19 policies and precautions are constantly changing, and that's why the Verify team is here. And we've been getting a lot of questions about these masks and whether you should be wearing them while you're exercising outside. So we're verifying, is there a hard and fast rule about wearing a mask while exercising outdoors? And remember, what we're saying is purely from a public health standpoint. So obviously, you still need to listen to state and local laws about what to do with these masks. Our Verify researchers looked at the guidance from the World Health Organization, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, and we spoke with Dr. Linda Nabha, an infectious disease specialist at the University of Pittsburgh Medical Center. Let's start with the World Health Organization, which published this graphic in mid-June that says, quote, people should not wear masks when exercising, as masks may reduce the ability to breathe comfortably. The graphic goes on to say that a sweaty, wet mask can make it more difficult to breathe and encourage the growth of microorganisms. They say your best bet is to maintain a physical distance of at least 1 meter from others, which is over 3 feet.
I think it really depends on where you are.
Dr. Linda Nabha helped put this WHO guidance in perspective and says for her it's case by case. For example, somebody who's running in a rural area is going to be a lot different from somebody else who's walking in a busy, crowded destination spot in the city.
If you're briskly walking along the Potomac River, for example, in Washington, D.C., where plenty of people are out walking, that's a particular situation where I think a mask would certainly be warranted, especially if you're not doing heavy exercise.
Meanwhile, the CDC doesn't specifically address the issue, but has issued this guidance. People who are engaged in high-intensity activities like running may not be able to wear a cloth face covering if it causes difficulty breathing. If unable to wear a cloth face covering, consider conducting the activity in a location with greater ventilation and air exchange. For instance, outdoors versus indoors, and where it is possible to maintain physical distance from others. So we can verify there's just no hard and fast rule here for outdoor exercising. It's all case by case. With your Verify, this is Evan Kozlov.
The Braves have only been training for 4 days now, and there already are some major issues hitting the team. 4 players have already tested positive, and now 2 players are electing not to play. Alex Glaze reports from Truist Park.
It wasn't an easy decision.
I think that's the right decision for myself and my family.
Nick Markakis has decided to opt out of the 2020 season. Markakis is a 14-year veteran who's been a pillar in the Braves locker room since 2015. His presence in the clubhouse is something that will be missed this season.
The ultimate pro, and you know, we'll miss him. I mean, he's one of our backbones of our club, and I know he's been thinking long and hard about it. I had a long talk with him yesterday, and we fully respect his position.
Markakis made his decision after a phone call with teammate Freddie Freeman, who tested positive for COVID-19.
You know, just hearing the way he sounded on the phone kind of opened my eyes, and you know, Freddie didn't sound good. I just hope every team and organization out there is careful with their players. You know, we're not just machines going out there. We're human beings, and the safety is a big concern.
Now, take a look at how quickly things have turned. The Braves started camp on July 3rd, a couple of days ago, and then the next day, they had 4 players testing positive before reporting, including Freddie Freeman. Then by the 5th, the Braves confirmed a new starting pitcher would not take part in the season. And by this morning, big part of the lineup, Nick Markakis, gone, electing not to play. The Supreme Court has made a game-changing decision about the Electoral College. More on how it could impact future elections coming up next.
In times of great uncertainty, some things become more clear. The things we take for granted, the people we depend on daily. Here at 11 Alive, we'd like to say thank you. First responders, medical staff, sanitation workers, truck drivers, postal workers, and every brave Georgian doing their part to make a difference. We see you, we hear you, and we appreciate all that you do.
Let's start with a viral message going around. Quote, vast majority of people who died had ibuprofen Advil in their system. This message is fake.
We just bought 20 dust masks for $97.
Are you doing this to help people, or are you doing this to make money, or both?
Both. Take this email sent to the Verify team. Is it safe to have your house cleaned by outside workers? The best practice is to limit guests to emergencies only.
We know things are changing every day, but we're here with you. Continuous COVID-19 coverage during prime time. We're committed to giving you facts, not fear. On 11 Alive News Prime Time, weeknights from 8 to 11 on WATF.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Today at noon on 11 Alive.
We are seeing that lack of smell or altered taste can be a symptom.
We answer your coronavirus-related medical questions. Because 11 Alive is where Atlanta speaks.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11 Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11 Alive today.
Today, a Supreme Court ruling on a case focused on the presidential election. The question before the court: must Electoral College members vote along with most votes and voters in their state? Today, the Supreme Court made it clear electors cannot go rogue. Here's NBC's Susan McGinnis.
Today, from the Supreme Court, a ruling that closes a loophole in the U.S. electoral system that has existed since the writing of the Constitution, and one that eliminates a concern looming over the 2020 election. Today, the High Court ruling members of the Electoral College are not free agents and must cast their votes in accordance with voters in their states.
If the Electoral College was very, very closely divided, there could have been a big fight, a real attempt to get electors who are pledged to, say, Joe Biden or to President Trump to switch sides.
Many Americans are unaware when they cast a ballot, they are in fact voting for a slate of electors who later get together and make the results official. Until today, there was no rule prohibiting those electors from choosing a different candidate. In writing the court's decision, Justice Elena Kagan said a state may instruct electors that they have no ground for reversing the vote of millions of its citizens. The case began with several electors who sued after they refused to vote for Hillary Clinton in 2016, even though she won their states. Legal experts say the ruling blunts what could have been huge drama in the upcoming election.
What they've decided to do is just say, hey, states, you've got the power to punish these so-called faithless electors who switch their views.
While electors can be compelled to go with voters in their states and potentially penalized if they don't, the question remains whether they can be stopped from doing it.
We have been watching a line of showers and thunderstorms, sometimes producing some heavy downpours as they move to the northwest this evening. And your 11 Alive Storm Trackers have been tracking this as it moves through on our 11 Alive Storm Tracker Facebook page with some pretty incredible pictures. I'll show you a couple of those coming up. But you can see some heavy downpours here still across parts of northeast Georgia, stretching back towards I-85 near Homer and between Homer and Toccoa, going back across the Atlanta metro area, mainly light to moderate rain. There's some pretty good showers, though, downpours right now, right through the center of Atlanta, right through downtown and through the connector, stretching down through Peachtree City and over into Heard County. Carroll County showers kind of diminishing right now, and still the heaviest of the activity over the border in Alabama. So things are starting to improve. Things are weakening a bit. Fewer lightning strikes now, just 3 in the past 15 minutes. So things are starting to quiet a bit. However, as this area of low pressure is going to continue to moving to the north-northeast tonight, we're still going to be unsettled. There's a lot of rich tropical moisture here across our state as well. So those key things combined will make for that possibility for showers and thunderstorms even into the overnight hours. So do be prepared for that overnight tonight. Looking back over the city of Atlanta, though, you can see we're kind of in a little bit of a break period here as you look out across the skyline. There's still some showers around, but not as heavy as it was earlier. Look at some of these clouds we saw from some of our storm trackers today. Siobhan Michelle in Griffin capturing these storm clouds as they rolled on in during the late afternoon. And then also we have Lynn Stallworth in Brazelton showing us these storm clouds looking very turbulent as the skies do dark and the storms moved in across 85. So temperatures today, we did make it into the upper 80s, just a couple of degrees shy of our normal of 89. At least here in Atlanta, we were at 87 degrees. It was a little cooler with the rain coming in earlier in Gainesville, 80 there, 86 in Eatonton, and 82 in Covington today. And then we warmed it up into the upper 80s, and once the rain moved in, of course, temperatures just plummeted some 13 degrees as that rain cooled air came rushing in. So that's always a nice relief. So right now we're 13 degrees cooler than we were at this time yesterday in Atlanta. We did hit 92 degrees yesterday, 14 degrees cooler cooler than we were at this time in Athens. So definitely a cooling trend now that those showers and storms have been moving through. Look at the dew points, though. This tells you that it's tropical air. When you have dew points in the low 70s or even mid 70s in LaGrange, you can almost cut the air with a knife. It is just so humid that it doesn't take much of a trigger mechanism to see showers and storms. Humidity 100% right now in Covington and Duluth, and very close to that in LaGrange and in Athens as this humidity continues to linger. So overnight tonight, with that low spinning around, we could have some thunderstorms overnight and into the morning commute even, and they're going to continue to rumble as we head into tomorrow afternoon and evening with a 70% chance during the heat of the day. So showers through the night tonight as a distinct possibility with some possible thunderstorms. Tomorrow, temperatures will be in the low 80s. It'll be pretty comfortable for much of the afternoon, but heavy downpours are possible as we'll continue to see the counterclockwise flow around that low. And you can even see it here in the future radar, these bands kind of circulating around here. So as we head into the overnight, it'll be mainly light showers, but isolated thunderstorms are possible. Tomorrow morning, a few showers for the morning commute. As we head into the evening, yes, once again, we could see a lot of activity with that 70% chance of showers and storms during the afternoon and evening. Wednesday, I think we'll have a dry break in the morning, and then during the afternoon and evening, the showers and storms will be popping up, about a 50% chance as we head into our Wednesday. So temperatures pretty comfortable the next couple of days, with the rain chances very high. Showers and thunderstorms possible. Rain chances go down towards the end of the week, and then those temperatures, yep, once again, start climbing back up to near 90 degrees.
Coming up next, to look at generational poverty in Atlanta. A mother shares her struggle trying to climb out of a financial hole and what is standing in the way.
This message is fake.
We just bought 20 dust masks for $97.
Are you doing this to help people, or are you doing this to make money, or both?
Both. Take this email sent to the Verify team. Is it safe to have your house cleaned by outside workers? The best practice is to limit guests to emergencies only.
We know things are changing every day, but we're here with you. Continuous COVID-19 coverage during prime time. We're committed to giving you facts, not fear. On 11 Alive News Primetime, weeknights from 8 to 11 on WATF.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Today at noon on 11 Alive.
We are seeing that lack of smell or altered taste can be a symptom.
We answer your coronavirus-related medical questions. Because 11 Alive is where Atlanta speaks.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11 Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11 Alive today.
In times of great uncertainty, some things become more clear. The things we take for granted, the people we depend on daily. Here at 11 Alive, we'd like to say thank you. First responders, medical staff, sanitation workers, truck drivers, postal workers, and every brave Georgian doing their part to make a difference. We see you, we hear you, and we appreciate all that you do.
Let's start with a viral message going around. Quote, vast majority of people who died had ibuprofen Advil in their system.
For the most privileged, inherited wealth is just a fact of life, but for tens of millions of others, the opposite holds true. Here's NBC's Blaine Alexander taking a close look at generational poverty and what some are trying to do to get off the cycle.
For years, every day was a struggle for Carletta Johnson.
Just being a single parent with no help, that was really, really hard.
Even harder with no car, little family support, and only a part-time job, which also meant for her no health care. She was relying on government-subsidized housing and food stamps to feed her 3 children. As for her paycheck,
it was no more than
$600
every 2 weeks.
That's every 2 weeks for you and your children.
Right.
And some days,
I was sitting in the parking lot, I was just crying. And I'm like, okay, get yourself together.
But it was all she knew, raised by a single mother herself, forced to grow up fast to help care for her 5 siblings. More than 1,000 miles away in Phoenix, Arizona, Jonia Coleman has a similar story.
I grew up in a single-parent household with my mom, and I had 7 other siblings. My mom was on government assistance for a while to be able to help feed us. And things
this
like that.
is generational poverty.
People are often born into poverty, and it's been poverty that their mother, their grandmother, etc. has experienced.
For a family of 4, it's defined as making less than $26,000 a year. More than 38 million Americans live in poverty. For Black Americans, it's 1 in every 5, higher than Latinos, Asian Americans, and more than double the rate of white Americans. And it spills into all aspects of life. More chronic health issues, higher rates of divorce, and abuse or neglect. Climbing out can seem nearly impossible. It often requires a new job or a degree, much harder with fewer resources like transportation and childcare. That was Jonia's reality until 2 years ago, thanks to Live and Learn, where she gained support, new mentors, and a new mindset.
They're trying to help me with my credit, all type of things that they offered to me to get myself back in order.
Having somebody that makes you feel safe, having a cheerleader, having an advocate, having somebody that is by your side no matter what happens.
Back in Atlanta, Carletta is also defying the odds, recently moving into her own home for the very first time. She got her certification and became a teacher, now with big hopes for her own children.
My dreams for them is for them to grow up and just live a life. Don't have to worry about things that I had to worry about as a child.
Hoping she is the one to finally break the cycle.
Blaine Alexander reporting from NBC News. A violent weekend in Atlanta capped off with the killing of an 8-year-old girl. The White House taking notice as well. Ahead on prime time, the comment from the press secretary earlier today.
Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Today at noon on 11 Alive.
We are seeing that lack of smell or altered taste can be a symptom.
We answer your coronavirus-related medical questions. Because 11 Alive is where Atlanta speaks.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11 Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11 Alive today.
In times of great uncertainty, some things become more clear. The things we take for granted, the people we depend on daily. Here at 11 Alive, we'd like to say thank you. First responders, medical staff, sanitation workers, truck drivers, postal workers, and every brave Georgian doing their part to make a difference. We see you, we hear you, and we appreciate all that you do.
Let's start with a viral message going around. Quote, vast majority of people who died had ibuprofen Advil in their system. This message is fake.
We just bought 20 dust masks for $97.
Are you doing this to help people or are you doing this to make money or both?
Both. Take this email sent to the Verify team. Is it safe to have your house cleaned by outside workers? The best practice is to limit guests to emergencies only.
We know things are changing every day, but we're here with you. Continuous COVID-19 coverage during
Tonight, a farewell to two legendary musical talents. Ennio Morricone was a prolific composer. Among his 400 original scores, Clint Eastwood's The Good, the Bad, the Ugly, the De Niro film, you remember that one, The Mission, from about 1987 or so, and of course, Once Upon a Time in the West. He was nominated for 6 Academy Awards. He died, he was 91.
If you care to take a dare, I'll make a bet with you. Now, you play pretty good fiddle, boy.
The devil went down to Georgia. He was looking for a soul to steal. Charlie Daniels, the one and only, the man with the fiddle, the man who was a legend, began with the Marshall Tucker Band back in the 1970s. Remember the Grand Ole Opry, also very involved with supporting veterans. Charlie Daniels was 83.
Tonight on Primetime, widespread violence, deadly shootings, and also destructive demonstrations around Atlanta. The governor now calling up troops for a state of emergency.
Stone Mountain police forced to let the rules slide when confronted by dozens of heavily armed demonstrators. What the city may do next.
And coronavirus cases still rising in Georgia. We look into why many are still struggling to get tested despite more sites opening all around the state.
11 Alive News Primetime on the ATL starts now.
We're going to begin with a developing story tonight. Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms has tested positive for coronavirus.
Just before 6 tonight, Mayor Bottoms tweeted, quote, COVID-19 has literally hit home. I have had no symptoms and have tested positive. Shortly after the announcement, the mayor appeared on MSNBC. She talked to Joy Reid about contracting the virus.
I will be in one place in my home office for the next 2 weeks and praying that the rest of my family is healthy. I have, I've talked about my kids before, so they, of course, are a concern. And I was even with my mother on yesterday. And so, I mean, this is startling for me because we've been so very careful. But certainly we are not immune. And again, this is just a lesson to everyone that you have to take every single symptom seriously. And as I see this growing list of symptoms, you can't assume that it's seasonal allergies. You can't assume that a mild cough are your seasonal allergies. We all need to be tested. And in my case, test it regularly because, like I said, this is probably my second test within a month.
So the mayor's positive coronavirus test comes on the heels of a violent weekend in the city of Atlanta. She met with the family of eight-year-old girl who was killed Saturday night. She says that she notified Sequoia Turner's family about possible exposure to the virus and encouraged them to get tested.
The gunfire and violence in Atlanta prompting Governor Brian Kemp to declare a state of emergency. 31 people shot in the city over the July 4th weekend, 5 people killed. The governor tweeting about taking action against the recent trend of lawlessness. Less than 24 hours later, authorizing the deployment of 1,000 National Guard troops in the metro. The State Department of Public Safety headquarters attacked by a large group wielding rocks, spray paint, and finally fireworks, causing a small fire in one of the offices. And today, Atlanta police taking over the burnt out Wendy's in southeast Atlanta where Rayshard Brooks was fatally shot. by a former officer last month. The site had become a real hotspot for protests, some peaceful, some not, in the weeks following the shooting.
Well, the cleanup continues after 8-year-old Secoria Turner was shot and killed Saturday night while sitting in a car nearby. 11 Alive's Joe Henke has more on the investigation into the shooting.
After a violent weekend across Atlanta, State Representative Vernon Jones of Lithonia talked with reporters at a vandalized State Department of Public Safety headquarters this morning and discussed the killing of 8-year-old Secoria Turner.
My prayers go out to the Turner family. Lord knows what it's like to lose a baby girl. And so let's continue to keep that family in our prayers.
Atlanta police told 11 Alive Turner's mom attempted to enter a parking lot on University Avenue when an armed group blocked the entrance. At some point, the car was shot at and the 8-year-old was hit. Secoria later died at Atlanta Medical Center. Secoria's parents sharing their pain during a press conference on Sunday.
They say Black Lives Matter. You killed your own. Killed your own this time. Just because of a barrier. They killed my baby because she crossed the barrier and made a U-turn. You killed a child.
Secoria's father labeling the shooting as black-on-black crime, and his quote referenced by Atlanta City Council member Joyce Shepard during a virtual council meeting today before a moment of silence for recent victims of violence in Atlanta.
And they kept saying Black lives is Black Lives Matter. Let's make sure that Black lives matter. But I pray today that we actually, that resonates in us across the city.
And late this afternoon during a White House press briefing, Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany mentioned the killing of Secoria.
And I'll leave you with this remark by a dad. It broke my heart. A dad of an 8-year-old lost in Atlanta this weekend. They say Black Lives Matters. You killed a child. She didn't do nothing to nobody, was his quote. We need to be focused on securing our streets, making sure no lives are lost because all Black lives matter. That of David Dorn and that of this 8-year-old girl. Thank you.
Turner's killing was the start of a violent Saturday night. Here is a look at the shootings that followed all throughout the city. 14 people were shot while watching a fireworks display on Auburn Avenue. 2 of those victims died. Police say at some point a vehicle hit someone, which led to a fight between several people and multiple people started shooting. For several weeks, people living in the Sweet Auburn neighborhood have really asked police to step up for help patrolling there and controlling the large parties that pop up in their neighborhood. APD said it would work to address those issues this weekend. 11 Alive's Caitlin Ross listened to a virtual Atlanta City Council meeting where both council members and members of the public had different ideas on how to address change.
People really want to be heard on this issue. The City Council president announced there was 13.5 hours of public comment, so they'd have to delay hearing the rest of the agenda until tomorrow.
We're now going to go into a moment of silence.
The start of the City Council meeting was quiet as members honored people killed by gun violence over the weekend in Atlanta. The public comment section was anything but, with hundreds of people calling in to talk about the violence.
People are dying. People are being murdered.
This caller expressed support for the Rayshard Brooks bill that would reallocate $73 million from the Atlanta police budget to different community-based initiatives. There were a number of people who agreed.
Policing and public safety really needs to change in a major way here in Atlanta.
But others spoke strongly in favor of APD, saying officers are doing the best they can to stem the violence under difficult circumstances.
Crime in Atlanta has gone through the roof. This is insane if you think it's a good idea to defund the police. We are concerned and we do not support defunding the police.
That public comment will be playing continuously on the City of Atlanta website until 4 o'clock in the morning. City Council members will then reconvene tomorrow to vote on that initiative that could reallocate some Atlanta police funding.
Our 11 Alive team will continue bringing you the very latest on this developing story. You're also going to find more videos and stories. Plus, Governor Kemp's complete emergency order. Just head to 11alive.com.
I'm meteorologist Chris Holcomb from the 11 Alive Storm Trackers. Kind of a soggy night in some spots. I'm talking to more than 400 people right now on Facebook Live. That's why you see my phone sitting here in the shot. And a lot of folks are confirming what we're seeing. In fact, Vicki Burns says no storms, just generally dealing with some rain around. Things are weakening compared to what we had earlier when we did have some thunderstorms that moved through a little bit earlier. And this is still pretty much along the I-85 corridor where we have some of that lighter rain, also to the south and east of that. And then also a few showers over parts of North Georgia. A little bit of moderate rain up there in parts of Lumpkin County, near areas of Dawson County as well. Here in the city, we have some light rain inside the perimeter that extends south and west and also up to the north and east. And that's mainly light rain here. We had a couple pockets of moderate rain just a little bit earlier. You can see how that extends down through parts of Coweta County, Fayette County, Clayton County, Henry County as well. And then on down to the south, this is what we're watching. I was just talking about this with our folks that are on Facebook Live right now. Can you see this counterclockwise flow? That's just south of Macon. This is the center of circulation around an area of low pressure that started off in the Gulf of Mexico. It's now inland, but it's still strong enough to bring up a lot of this tropical moisture into our area, and that's what's giving us those scattered showers that we have around. Take a look at this. This is a look at that system and what we're watching here with that center that is just to the south of Macon. It is going to continue moving to the south and east through Georgia and South Carolina, and as it's overland, the Hurricane Center saying, you know, only a 10% chance that that could develop into a depression or anything. But once this gets in over water, it has a 40% chance of developing potentially into a tropical depression or a tropical storm. Once this pulls away, it's not going to totally take away our rain chances, but it will reduce them a little bit. I'm going to talk more about that and the timing of when we'll see additional rain over the next few days.
The state's positive COVID-19 cases went up again today. Earlier today, the Georgia Department of Public Health reported 1,548 new cases. That's about half of what was reported last week when the state experienced a record number of cases. While case numbers have increased, some test results are taking just as long as they did during the beginning of the pandemic. Reveal investigator Andy Parati explains how limited testing sites over the holiday weekend really didn't help out.
While thousands of Georgians watched the skylight of 4th of July weekend outdoors, Daniel Wiggins celebrated quarantined inside his Atlanta home.
I think there's like a little bit of jealousy seeing people go out and about, enjoying their lives while you're trying to be a good citizen and stay in the house.
The 34-year-old took a COVID-19 test Friday morning after a friend he visited started exhibiting symptoms, who later tested positive.
And since I had seen him recently, I was like, oh God, I'm probably in trouble too.
4 days later, Wiggins is still waiting for his results. But even getting a test wasn't easy. Every CVS site he checked was booked. And as of today, 11 Alive found no availability at any Metro Atlanta CVS for the next 3 days, or even through the state's website. The first testing site Wiggins went to, run by an organization called CORE, was closed for the holiday weekend.
So I went all the way back home. And then I heard there was another one open in College Park. So I then went back in my car and then drove out there to go get tested.
Delays as cases continue to rise. In May, the state averaged about 676 COVID cases a day. Over the past 30 days, it's more than doubled. Some test results taking 5 days or more.
I knew a little bit that there was going to be maybe a little bit of a delay, but at the same time, I mean, you know, the virus doesn't delay because it's a holiday weekend, so.
Wiggins says he is acting as if he has the virus and will continue to quarantine as the CDC recommends until he knows for sure. The Georgia Department of Public Health says it is maximizing its in-state public labs to ensure swift testing results, but acknowledges commercial private labs are experiencing delays due to the high volume of testing, something they can't control.
For the first time in 34 years, Labor Day weekend will not see thousands of creatively costumed visitors take over downtown Atlanta. Today, organizers announced Dragon Con 2020 is canceled. The annual sci-fi, fantasy, and pop culture convention was expected to draw 90,000 people to the city, but because of the coronavirus, organizers say they cannot, in good faith, continue with the event. Instead, they're going to hold a free virtual 4-day convention. Fans who already purchased tickets for this year can swap them for the 2021 season or seek a refund. We got the details on our website at 11alive.com.
A protest at Stone Mountain made headlines over the weekend when a group showed up armed. Now the city says it is looking to do things differently. And don't forget, we are streaming for you right now on the 11 Alive YouTube channel. Go ahead and click there if you'd like to take us on the go and join the conversation in the community section. More 11 Alive news in prime time coming up after the break.
Frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Today at noon on 11 Alive.
We are seeing that lack of smell or altered taste can be a symptom.
We answer your coronavirus-related medical questions. Because 11 Alive is where Atlanta speaks.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11 Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11 Alive today.
In times of great uncertainty.
Tonight, the city of Stone Mountain is re-examining policies after a large group of demonstrators marched into Stone Mountain Park over the weekend. Many of them were armed. Now, while the demonstration was peaceful and no one was arrested, we're learning the group did not have a permit to be there.
11 Alive's Tracy A. McPeer talked with Stone Mountain officials about how it might handle future demonstrations.
When you take a city as small as Stone Mountain with our 15 officers and they are confronted with 200 plus individuals who have obviously outgunned us to do a peaceful demonstration, then we're not going to start talking about permits, and you can't come in without a permit.
Thomas Brown says the armed protesters on Saturday at Stone Mountain did not have a parade permit. But the city's public safety administrator says they weren't going to risk an altercation over the issue at the time.
That's a conversation we must have much later on down the line.
Without any notice, Police Chief Chancey Troutman says they were surprised by the number of armed marchers and had to call DeKalb County for reinforcements.
They are popping up. They're not just, we don't even notice half the time until we ride through our streets. We see people gathering. They use our jurisdiction to park in, so they want to pay to get in.
The minimum parade permit costs $250 and helps pay for police to keep the community and the protesters or paraders safe. Without one, City Manager Shaquia Thornton says the money has to come from the city's taxpayers through the general fund. But the city manager says now there could be a way to get paid back.
We are having some conversation regarding assessing permits after the fact.
It would take a change in ordinance, but Mayor Patricia Wheeler says some council members are already on board.
They've already voiced their opinion that they feel that we should at least reach out to them. Whether it would happen, that would be something in the near future to find out.
For the city of Stone Mountain to go back and charge groups for permits they didn't file in advance, it would take an ordinance change. Now that takes 2 readings and a majority vote by council. The whole process could take a month.
That was Tracy A. McPeer reporting for us tonight. She also spoke with officials at Stone Mountain Park who said the group did not have a permit to be in the park either.
After video of these protests showed up online, there were people in the 11 Alive Facebook comment section asking if protesters were committing a crime. So we set out to verify. Several people claim you cannot openly carry a firearm while wearing a mask. Some even said it's a felony. So we reached out to the Atlanta Police Department to get the facts for you. They pointed us to Georgia's law on firearms, and in the law, there is no mention of masks. Georgia does have a law that prevents wearing masks for certain purposes, but it makes no mention of firearms. And even then, APD says the governor's office has temporarily suspended enforcement of that law because of the COVID-19 pandemic. So we can verify nowhere in Georgia law does it say you cannot wear a mask, cover your face while holding a gun. Remember, if you see a claim out there online that you think needs a little fact checking, hit us up, send us an email to verify@11alive.com or tag us on Facebook or Twitter.
I'm meteorologist Chris Holcomb from the 11 Alive Storm Tracker, still talking with between 150 and 200 people on Facebook Live, and a lot of folks are asking about what was my favorite part of the weekend, and talking all about the holiday weekend, and they're also letting us know which areas are getting rain. Like Douglas Cleveland says nice rain in Milledgeville tonight. We had reports of some light rain in parts of Lawrenceville as well, and folks here on this Facebook Live are confirming what we're seeing on radar. We have this light rain around the I-85 corridor. It turns moderate once you get up into parts of Banks County. We have some other moderate showers in parts of Lumpkin County, southern Fannin, also over into Gilmer County with a few of those moderate showers. Those are moving up toward the north and to the west. These are pretty much holding steady here over the I-85 corridor, and they're a lot weaker, not really heavy rain. And even here inside the perimeter, we have light rain around I-20 and northward. 75 and 85, and then along I-20 just inside the perimeter, or in the center of the perimeter, and on the south side of the connector going down to 85 and 75 as well. Mainly light rain there, and that stretches down toward Coweta, also into Heard County, Fayette, Fayette and Clayton, northern Henry getting some of those showers, south DeKalb County. And as we mentioned earlier, if you see right here, just to the south of Macon, this is the center of this counterclockwise flow. That's the area of low pressure that originated in the Gulf. It's inland now, but it's spreading a lot of that Gulf moisture our way, and that system's going to keep moving like this over land and then eventually go back out over the water. And when it gets out over the water, it could become a tropical storm or a tropical depression once it moves out there. So we'll keep an eye on that. Meanwhile, we're just dealing with more of these showers around. Take a look at what we're watching out there, and this is that system that I'm talking about here. First off, this is a live look at our tower cam up in Rome, where we're looking toward the west as the sun went down, or around 8:52, but we still have some light in the sky there as you look at that from the distance, between some of those clouds. It'll be getting dark there really soon though, and there's not much in the form of rain up in Rome right now. But here's that system, the center of circulation just south of Macon. It's going to move like this through Georgia, South Carolina, and then once it gets out over water, there's a 40% chance that the Hurricane Center is saying right now that this could develop into a tropical depression or a tropical storm. Now, once the rain came through today, we got up to 87 degrees for a high, but once the rain came through, it really cooled things down. 74 right now, 73 in Athens, 71 in Gainesville. Pretty much all of us are in the 70s at this hour, and that's thanks to some of the rain-cooled air that came in a little bit earlier. Tomorrow, we're going to be a little cooler than we were today, getting up to 83. We'll see mostly cloudy skies, scattered showers, a few thunder showers possible. We don't think they would be severe, though, and for that reason, we're just going to go with a 4 on the wasometer. I want you to watch this center of circulation right here. We kind of come out a little bit so you can see that. That low pressure is going to move up toward East Georgia tomorrow. And then back behind this system, we're still going to see a few scattered showers. Not raining all day, but scattered showers. And we don't think we'll see any severe weather with that. As this low moves up through South Carolina and then eventually out into the water, on the back side of this, still nothing really came through to clean out our air. So we're still going to see some scattered showers even on the back side of this system Wednesday, also into Thursday. But those rain chances will come down a little bit. Not as many showers as we had out there today or that we're going to see out there tomorrow too. So we're going to go with a 4 on the wasometer tomorrow. Highs near 83 degrees and then 86 degrees for the high temperature on Wednesday with a rain chance at 50%. And then lower rain chances Thursday, Friday, and Saturday down to about 30%. But notice how when the rain chance goes down, those temperatures go back up to around the upper 80s and lower 90s. Sunday right now looks like only a 20% chance for a shower, and then a 30% chance again on Monday with high temperatures still there near 90.
The legal team for a man accused in the shooting death of a 17-year-old girl in Statesboro says he should have never been charged with the crime. William Mark Wilson was arrested last month for aggravated assault and felony murder. One of his attorneys say Wilson was driving with his girlfriend when they were approached by a truck filled with people yelling racial slurs at the couple and trying to drive them off the road. Wilson fired a warning shot which hit and killed Haley Hutchison. Wilson turned himself in to police, saying it was self-defense. During a Zoom call today, his team of attorneys, which includes some from Metro Atlanta, say the police ignored his story and painted him as a murderer.
Picking up a late night meal at Taco Bell when they are accosted by a truckload of guys hanging out of the window. They continued to use their truck, which was much larger than Mr. Wilson's small Ford Focus, as a dangerous weapon, and attempted to run him off the road before Mr. Wilson took the actions that he took in defending his life and the life of his girlfriend.
A preliminary and bond hearing is set for tomorrow. His attorneys hope the charges will be dropped. Tonight on Up Late, Wilson's parents tell us why they believe the justice system is failing their son.
All right, straight ahead. After an entire family tests positive for COVID-19, their 2-year-old develops a strange rash during recovery. Their words of caution to other parents next.
House cleaned by outside workers. The best practice is to limit guests to emergencies only.
We know things are changing every day, but we're here with you. Continuous COVID-19 coverage during prime time. We're committed to giving you facts, not fear. On 11 Alive News Primetime, weeknights from 8 to 11 on WATF.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Today at noon on 11 Alive.
We are seeing that lack of smell or altered taste can be a symptom.
We answer your coronavirus-related medical questions. Because 11 Alive is where Atlanta speaks.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11 Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11 Alive today.
In times of great uncertainty, some things become more clear. The things we take for granted, the people we depend on daily. Here at 11 Alive, we'd like to say thank you. First responders, medical staff, sanitation workers, truck drivers, postal workers, and every brave
A family is now sharing their journey to recovery after their 2-year-old contracted COVID-19 and everyone else in the household also tested positive. Emily Corral with our sister station out of Columbia, South Carolina, shares their story and some of the strange symptoms they experienced.
You feel it all better? Yeah.
The Moses family, Aaron, Michael, Grant, and Sawyer Kate, are on the tail end of their quarantine after COVID-19 spread through their family, starting with 2.5-year-old Sawyer Kate.
She ate dinner. It was a completely normal day. She didn't have any symptoms during the day. And then that night, we were getting ready for bed, and she spiked a fever. Like, it kind of came out of nowhere.
That fever lasted for 3 days, during which Sawyer Kate was tested for COVID-19. A few days later, after the rest of the family started to experience symptoms, her test came back positive.
And then her symptoms really seemed to kind of taper off from there. Like, they would come and go. So it would be like, 1 or 2 days she was completely normal, and then she'd wake up the next day throwing up again. So that was what was a little odd about it, is that the symptoms kind of came and went.
The rest of the family tested positive and began to quarantine and treat their symptoms. One morning, Erin noticed her daughter scratching her legs uncontrollably at what looked like little bug bites.
I blamed the cat. My husband was like, this cat, like, it can't stand cat anyway. And so we thought it was just, like fleas or something. And we treated her with Benadryl. And then it wasn't until like later that day that I was, hold on, this isn't fleas. This was like a rash.
Their pediatrician recommended they go to the hospital, where Sawyer Kate went through numerous tests that all came back with normal results. The rash ended up being an afterthought of the virus. The doctor called it a post-viral inflammatory response.
I think that, for one, this absolutely can be contracted and spread by children. And even though she had a favorable outcome, it's a really terrible experience to have to sit in an emergency room with your 2-year-old while they're getting poked and prodded and screaming and terrified, and having to like be part of the team holding them down while they're like screaming for help. It's something that no one should have to do. And so, yeah.
The entire family is now on the road to recovery.
Coming up, the city says it won't let people gather around the burned out Wendy's on University Avenue anymore. We're looking at what it can legally do about the property.
Ibuprofen, Advil in their system. This message is fake.
We just bought 20 dust masks for $97.
Are you doing this to help people, or are you doing this to make money, or both?
Both. Take this email sent to the Verify team. Is it safe to have your house cleaned by outside workers? The best practice is to limit guests to emergencies only.
We know things are changing every day, but we're here with you. Continuous COVID-19 coverage during prime time. We're committed to giving you facts, not fear. On 11 Alive News Primetime, weeknights from 8 to 11 on WATF.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Today at noon on 11 Alive.
We are seeing that lack of smell or altered taste can be a symptom.
We answer your coronavirus-related medical questions. Because 11 Alive is where Atlanta speaks.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11 Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11 Alive today.
In times of great uncertainty, some things become more clear. The things we take for granted, the people we depend on daily. Here at 11 Alive, we'd like to say thank you. First responders, medical staff, sanitation workers, truck drivers, postal workers, and every brave Georgian doing their part to make a difference. We see you, we hear you, and we appreciate all that you do.
Let's start with a viral message going around. Quote, vast majority of people who died had
This is what it looked like today as police cleared out the parking lot of the burned out Wendy's where Rayshard Brooks was shot and killed. For weeks, people have gathered there to protest his death at the hands of a now fired Atlanta officer. But there have been complaints from people who live in the Southeast Atlanta neighborhood that some of these protesters are armed and blocking roads. Now that an 8-year-old girl has been killed not too far from there, There are new calls for something to change. The mayor saying the time for conversations in that location is over.
At the request of Councilmember Shepherd, our public safety chair, and our city council president, we had not completely closed the Wendy's location yet, given an opportunity to have discussions, giving them an opportunity to have discussions with the people who were still at the Wendy's. Well, we're not having any more discussions.
All right, so the next question is what to do with the building itself. The City of Atlanta and its Code Enforcement Bureau have the authority to demolish what's left of the building with notice to its owners. Legally, the owners can choose to repair the structure, agree to its demolition, or challenge any actions.
We have been watching a few showers out there today. We've had a pretty good coverage of rain in some spots. Now, some areas got heavy rain while other areas didn't get much at all. Things are pretty much a lot quieter right now. Still some rain, but it's lighter than it was earlier. And this is still pretty much lining up along the I-85 corridor where we have that light rain. Also to the north, we've got a few spotty showers, some of those with some moderate pockets there in areas of Lumpkin County, northern Dawson, Gilmer, southern parts of Fannin County, southern parts of Union County getting some of that. We had some thunder and lightning with this over here in Banks County a little bit earlier. That moved over into these areas that I just talked about a few minutes ago in Lumpkin, but it's no longer any thunder and lightning. Here in town, we have these showers in the metro area, as I mentioned, along the I-85 corridor. And then in the city, we have some of the light rain inside the perimeter as well. Pretty much from Atlanta, just a little bit over on the west side. Most of this is east of the connector, out toward the east side of the perimeter where we have some of those showers, on down to the south, but we're not seeing any thunder and lightning anymore. We had some thunder and lightning in Coweta County, Heard County a little bit earlier. That all has pretty much disappeared. And as we mentioned earlier, this is all thanks to that area of low pressure that came in from the Gulf of Mexico. Now, if you look at this counterclockwise flow, the center of that is right here, just to the south and west of Macon. And that's going to keep moving through Georgia into South Carolina and eventually out into the Atlantic, where it could become a tropical system as it moves out into the Atlantic. But what's going to happen here is it just keeps spreading that moisture our way. That counterclockwise flow picks up that moisture and spreads it into our area in the form of some rain. Take a look out there right now. This is what we're watching tonight. This is a live look in Coweta County. The roads are wet. You can kind of see that behind the courthouse there, the wet roads, and the light rain is still coming down in Coweta County, but not heavy, not strong or anything like that. And for the rest of the nighttime hours, those showers are mainly going to be light, but then as we get toward tomorrow morning, we're going to have another mild start with temperatures in the 70s. There's a chance for a few spotty showers around early in the morning, and then later on tomorrow, a little better chance for a few more of those showers around. Little thunder and lightning is possible, but we don't think we'll have anything severe. We're going to talk more about that and what happens once that area of low pressure moves out closer to the Atlantic, and if it'll leave any moisture behind for us to give us any additional rain.
All right, Chris, we'll see you in a couple of minutes, sir. Packed beaches and lakes over the holiday weekend have a lot of people concerned about surging COVID-19 numbers. According to the CDC, more than 44,000 new cases were reported today across our country. Now, some science is suggesting good air filters could actually help get rid of the virus in those enclosed spaces. So let's connect the dots between reopening the country and air filters.
As we learn more about coronavirus, we're learning more about how to stop the spread. And one of the ways could be a really good air filter. Let's connect the dots. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo recently announced that no large mall in the state could reopen without an air filtration system that can filter out COVID-19. This comes as infectious disease experts start to agree that this virus is aerosolized. Basically, that means it hangs out in small particles in the air, possibly for hours. That increases the danger in small enclosed spaces like offices and restaurants. One solution is better ventilation. One of the most practical ways to do that is to use high-grade HEPA filters in ventilation systems. Those can filter out many of the tiny droplets that contain the coronavirus. The only problem is most residential systems can't handle the highest grade HEPA filters. You need a large system with a motor strong enough to pull and push air through. So what can a homeowner do? First, install the highest grade filter your HVAC system can handle. It's also recommended by the EPA that you run the fan on your system because air is only pushed through that filter when the fan is on. In-room air purifiers with HEPA-rated filters also help, but experts say one of the simplest and most low-tech ways to increase ventilation in your home is to simply open a window.
All right, so should you wear a mask while exercising outdoors? That's a question that keeps popping up. Our Verify team is digging into the guidance from the World Health Organization.
COVID-19 policies and precautions are constantly changing, and that's why the Verify team is here. And we've been getting a lot of questions about these masks and whether you should be wearing them while you're exercising outside. So we're verifying, is there a hard and fast rule about wearing a mask while exercising outdoors? And remember, what we're saying is purely from a public health standpoint. So obviously, you still need to listen to state and local laws about what to do with these masks. Our Verify researchers looked at the guidance from the World Health Organization, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, and we spoke with Dr. Linda Nabha, an infectious disease specialist at the University of Pittsburgh Medical Center. Let's start with the World Health Organization, which published this graphic in mid-June that says, quote, people should not wear masks when exercising, as masks may reduce the ability to breathe comfortably. The graphic goes on to say that a sweaty, wet mask can make it more difficult to breathe and encourage the growth of microorganisms. They say your best bet is to maintain a physical distance of at least 1 meter from others, which is over 3 feet.
I think it really depends on where you are.
Dr. Linda Nabha helped put this WHO guidance in perspective and says for her it's case by case. For example, somebody who's running in a rural area is going to be a lot different from somebody else who's walking in a busy, crowded destination spot in the city.
If you're briskly walking along the Potomac River, for example, in Washington, D.C., where plenty of people are out walking, that's a particular situation where I think a mask would certainly be warranted, especially if you're not doing heavy exercise.
Meanwhile, the CDC doesn't specifically address the issue, but has issued this guidance. People who are engaged in high-intensity activities like running may not be able to wear a cloth face covering if it causes difficulty breathing. If unable to wear a cloth face covering, consider conducting the activity in a location with greater ventilation and air exchange. For instance, outdoors versus indoors, and where it is possible to maintain physical distance from others. So we can verify there's just no hard and fast rule here for outdoor exercising. It's all case by case. With your Verify, this is Evan Kozloff.
The Atlanta Braves have only been training for 4 days now, and there's already some major issues hitting the team. 4 players have already tested positive for COVID-19, and now 2 players are electing not to play this season. Alex Glaze reports from Truist Park.
It wasn't an easy decision.
I think that's the right decision for myself and my family.
Nick Markakis has decided to opt out of the 2020 season. Markakis is a 14-year veteran who's been a pillar in the Braves locker room since 2015. His presence in the clubhouse is something that will be missed this season.
The ultimate pro, and you know, we'll miss him. I mean, he's one of our backbones of our club, and I know he's been thinking long and hard about it. I had a long talk with him yesterday, and we fully respect his position.
Markakis made his decision after a phone call with teammate Freddie Freeman, who tested positive for COVID-19.
You know, just hearing the way he sounded on the phone kind of opened my eyes, and you know, Freddie didn't sound good. I just hope every team and organization out there is careful with their players. You know, we're not just machines going out there. We're human beings, and the safety is a big concern.
So take a look at how quickly things have turned. The Braves started camp on July 3rd, just a few days ago. The next day, the Braves revealed they had 4 players test positive before reporting. That included star Freddie Freeman. Then by the 5th, the Braves confirmed a new starting pitcher would not take part in the season. And by this morning, a big part of the lineup also electing not to play.
For the most privileged Americans, inherited wealth is just a fact of life. But for tens of millions of others, the opposite is true. NBC's Blaine Alexander takes a closer look at generational poverty and what some are doing to stop that cycle.
For years, every day was a struggle for Carletta Johnson.
Just being a single parent with no help, that was really, really hard.
Even harder with no car, little family support, and only a part-time job, which also meant for her no health care. She was relying on government-subsidized housing and food stamps to feed her 3 children. As for her paycheck,
it was no more than
$600
every 2 weeks.
That's every 2 weeks for you and your children.
Right.
And some days,
I was sitting in the parking lot, I was just crying. And I'm like, okay, get yourself together.
but it was all she knew, raised by a single mother herself, forced to grow up fast to help care for her 5 siblings. More than 1,000 miles away in Phoenix, Arizona, Jonia Coleman has a similar story.
I grew up in a single-parent household with my mom, and I had 7 other siblings. My mom was on government assistance for a while to be able to help feed us. And things
This
like that.
is generational poverty.
People are often born into poverty, and it's been poverty that their mother, their grandmother, etc. has experienced.
For a family of 4, it's defined as making less than $26,000 a year. More than 38 million Americans live in poverty. For Black Americans, it's 1 in every 5, higher than Latinos, Asian Americans, and more than double the rate of white Americans. And it spills into all aspects of life. More chronic health issues, higher rates of divorce, and abuse or neglect. Climbing out can seem nearly impossible. It often requires a new job or a degree, much harder with fewer resources like transportation and childcare. That was Jonia's reality until 2 years ago, thanks to Live and Learn, where she gained support, new mentors, and a new mindset.
They're trying to help me with my credit, all type of things that they offered to me to get myself back in order.
Having somebody that makes you feel safe, having a cheerleader, having an advocate, having somebody that is by your side no matter what happens.
Back in Atlanta, Carletta is also defying the odds, recently moving into her own home for the very first time. She got her certification and became a teacher, now with big hopes for her own children.
My dreams for them is for them to grow up and just live a life. Don't have to worry about things that I had to worry about as a child.
Hoping she is the one to finally break the cycle.
The Supreme Court has made a game-changing decision about the Electoral College. More on how it could impact future elections next.
Today at noon on 11 Alive.
We are seeing that lack of smell or altered taste can be a symptom.
We answer your coronavirus-related medical questions. Because 11 Alive is where Atlanta speaks.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11 Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11 Alive today.
Let's start with a viral message going around. Quote, vast majority of people who died had ibuprofen Advil in their system. This message is fake.
We just bought 20 dust masks for $97.
Are you doing this to help people or are you doing this to make money or both?
Both. Take this email sent to the Verify team. Is it safe to have your house cleaned by outside workers? The best practice is to limit guests to emergencies only.
We know things are changing every day, but we're here with you. Continuous COVID-19 coverage during prime time. We're committed to giving you facts, not fear. On 11 Alive News Primetime, weeknights from 8 to 11 on WATF.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Today at noon on 11 Alive.
We are seeing that lack of smell or altered taste can be a symptom.
We answer your coronavirus-related medical questions. Because 11 Alive is where Atlanta speaks.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11 Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11 Alive today.
Today, a Supreme Court ruling on a case focused on the presidential election. The question before the court: must Electoral College members vote along with most voters in their states?
Today, the Supreme Court made it clear electors cannot go rogue. NBC's Susan McGinnis has the latest.
Today, from the Supreme Court, a ruling that closes a loophole in the U.S. electoral system that has existed since the writing of the Constitution, and one that eliminates a concern looming over the 2020 election. Today, the High Court ruling members of the Electoral College are not free agents and must cast their votes in accordance with voters in their states.
If the Electoral College was very, very closely divided, there could have been a big fight, a real attempt to get electors who are pledged to, say, Joe Biden or to President Trump to switch sides.
Many Americans are unaware when they cast a ballot, they are in fact voting for a slate of electors who later get together and make the results official. Until today, there was no rule prohibiting those electors from choosing a different candidate. In writing the court's decision, Justice Elena Kagan said a state may instruct electors that they have no ground for reversing the vote of millions of its citizens. The case began with several electors who sued after they refused to vote for Hillary Clinton in 2016, even though she won their states. Legal experts say the ruling blunts what could have been huge drama in the upcoming election.
What they've decided to do is just say, hey, states, you've got the power to punish these so-called faithless electors who switch their views.
While electors can be compelled to go with voters in their states and potentially penalized if they don't, the question remains whether they can be stopped from doing it.
We continue to track a few of those showers that are out there right now. And even though you're seeing a lot of green on here, we have a lot of light rain in some spots, but it's mainly that light rain that is still right along the I-85 corridor here, north and east of the city, also south and west of the city. A few of those scattered showers southeast of that, and then a few more spotty showers that are in parts of North Georgia right now. That's left over from the heavier rain that was in Banks County earlier that had some thunder and lightning with it. That moved on up toward the north, and now it's just light to moderate rain from areas of Lumpkin County, southern Fannin County, also into parts of Gilmer County. A few light showers up 75 into Gordon County as well. And then here you see this rain in the metro area. Now, north side and west side, you're not seeing that much right now. This is mainly through Atlanta, south and west of the city, and also north and east of the city, where we have some of these lighter showers that are moving through. And that's the same thing east of the downtown connector here in DeKalb County on the east side of the perimeter, and also out I-20. But it's mainly light stuff. And that also stretches down toward LaGrange into Coweta County as well. Northern parts of Meriwether County, Fayette, Clayton, Henry County seeing some of those lighter showers. And as we've been telling you, we've been watching this area of low pressure that had tropical characteristics in the Gulf of Mexico. It's over land now. Here's the center of that circulation right now of that low pressure. It's a counterclockwise flow. So that's picking up some of this Gulf moisture and also some Atlantic moisture and spreading that our way, and that's why we're seeing those scattered showers. Take a look at your weather headlines for the rest of the night. We're going to be dealing with that tropical moisture not only tonight, but also during the day tomorrow as well. And we're going to have somewhat of an unsettled week, even though that area of low pressure is going to move out through South Carolina and out into the Atlantic, and it could potentially become a named tropical system once it gets out there. It's going to pull away, but nothing's really coming in to totally clean out our air. So we're still going to see some scattered showers even after that low pressure system moves out, but the chances are going to be lower. And we're also going to warm up as those rain chances come down a little bit. We will see those temperatures getting a little bit hotter. Today's high was 87, just a couple of degrees away from where we should be this time of year. We should be at 89. Our low this morning was rather mild at 73. We should be around 71. Look how much rain we picked up today. More than an inch of rain officially at Hartsfield-Jackson. So our surplus is coming back up. We're now about 13 3/4 inches above where we should be in rainfall so far for the year. Now take a look at the temperatures. This is really interesting. I mentioned that mild start there in the lower 70s this morning, and then we started moving up, and throughout the lunchtime hour we were in the lower 80s and then mid 80s. Once we got into 3 and 4 in the afternoon, we did top off at 87 in between these two hourlies here. And then when the rain came in, boom, look what happened to those temperatures. That's the rain-cooled air that dropped us down to 73 at 6, and then we've been holding in the 70s ever since. And everybody else is pretty much in the 70s right now, thanks to some of that rain that came through the area just a little bit earlier. And we're going to stay mild through the rest of the nighttime hours and overnight too, starting off in the lower 70s in the morning, getting up to 83 in the afternoon. We'll have a 70% chance for some showers, though some thunder and lightning possible, but we don't expect anything severe, and still a 50% chance for showers on Wednesday. So the rain chance comes down, but it doesn't go away. And then a 30% chance Thursday, Friday, Saturday. But this is what I was talking about with the temperatures coming back up to the upper 80s to lower 90s when the rain chances are lower. Sunday, maybe a little drier, only a 20% chance for a shower, back to 30% chance Monday with a high of about 89.
All right, thanks a lot, Chris. You know, last week we saw a better than expected jobs report for the United States, with the unemployment rate falling to 11%. But even before that report, consumers were expressing confidence in the economy. June's Consumer Confidence Index increased for the second month in a row despite the growing numbers of COVID-19 cases. But why? Here's our why guy.
Across the country, it's easy to find business owners who are discouraged.
We're shut down. We don't have a kitchen. We don't serve food.
The nation continues to struggle with a pandemic that won't let go. And yet there is confidence. The country's Consumer Confidence Index not only increased in June, it jumped more than economic experts predicted. Let's look at why. The monthly index is based on a survey of 5,000 households. Homeowners are quizzed about their view of the economy's health and where they see it 6 months in the future.
Economic momentum is driven by how people are feeling.
While the confidence index is still well below what it was before the pandemic, June's number is significantly higher than it was in May. The survey ended June 18th as Georgia and other states were experiencing a sharp rise in new COVID-19 cases. Emory economics professor Tom Smith says consumers are likely clinging to the bright spots.
The Nasdaq soaring 30%.
The stock market has reacted positively to the most recent upbeat jobs report. Amazon and Netflix are among the companies that have experienced record highs on the market.
I think people are looking for anything that can give them some hope.
Smith says the rise in the Consumer Confidence Index could have long-term impacts.
If people see these numbers and say, my fellow consumer has confidence, and so I'm going to have the same kind of confidence, that's the kind of economic traction that we need.
Despite the show of confidence, economic experts say it's too early to say consumers are ready to start spending like they were before the pandemic.
Today at noon on 11 Alive.
We are seeing that lack of smell or altered taste can be a symptom.
We answer your coronavirus-related medical questions. Because 11 Alive is where Atlanta speaks.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11 Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11 Alive today.
In times of great uncertainty, some things become more clear. The things we take for granted, the people we depend on daily. Here at 11 Alive, we'd like to say thank you First responders, medical staff, sanitation workers, truck drivers, postal workers, and every brave Georgian doing their part to make a difference. We see you, we hear you, and we appreciate all that you do.
Let's start with a viral message going around. Quote, vast majority of people who died had ibuprofen Advil in their system. This message is fake.
We just bought 20 dust masks for $97.
Are you doing this to help people or are you doing this to make money or both?
Both. Take this email sent to the Verify team. Is it safe to have your house cleaned by outside workers? The best practice is to limit guests to emergencies only.
We know things are changing every day, but we're here with you. Continuous COVID-19 coverage during prime time. We're committed to giving you facts, not fear. On 11 Alive News Prime Time, weeknights from 8 to 11 on WATF.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Primetime rolls on at 10. We'll see you then.
More than 20,000 women receive a new diagnosis of ovarian cancer every year. Johnson & Johnson baby powder and Shower to Shower have been linked to ovarian cancer.
Johnson & Johnson has been aware of these risks for decades, but failed to warn women and the public.
In July, $4.69 billion was awarded to 22 women after they developed ovarian cancer after the use of talcum powder. Other victims have been awarded substantial compensation in previous verdicts.
If you or a loved one has been diagnosed with ovarian cancer and use talcum powder regularly, call Morelli Law Firm for a free consultation.
Morelli Law Firm has given a voice to people seriously injured for decades and has successfully litigated thousands of cases for its clients.
All talc cases are handled in-house by an experienced legal team that has the resources and resolve in drug and pharmaceutical litigation to ensure that you receive maximum compensation for your injuries. Call Morelli Law Firm for a free consultation.
This mother won't guilt trip you, doesn't expect you to call her back, won't stalk you on social, and doesn't compare you to your siblings. Too bad it's not your mother, but now it can be. The new Mother Cruncher Chicken Sandwich from Checkers. Crispy, crunchy, all-white meat with our signature squawk sauce and all the mother-loving fixins. Or the smoky sweet bacon barbecue Mother Cruncher. Get a better mother. The new Mother Cruncher Chicken Sandwiches, starting at $3.99. Get Checkers delivered.
Hello, I'm William Shatner, and you may not know this about me, but years ago, I was diagnosed with a sleep disorder. And like millions of others, I was prescribed sleep equipment. Did you know sleep equipment manufacturers recommend daily cleaning? That's why I use SoClean. It's the perfect complement to my daily routine, and it's hassle-free. SoClean is fast and easy. It keeps my sleep equipment fresh every day without the need for disassembly.
With SoClean, daily maintenance is a snap. All you do is place your equipment in, close the lid, and walk away. You can try SoClean risk-free for 30 nights. Order now and get a $70 instant rebate.
SoClean is so fast and gives you peace of mind that your sleep equipment is fresh each time you use it.
Call 1-800-681-4379. And for a limited time, get a $70 instant rebate. Call 1-800-681-4379 or go to SoClean.com.
Endurance wants to get you back on the road again, America. Protecting our employees and customers is our top priority, especially in these trying times. Even if you're driving less right now and your car is sitting idle, having the right vehicle protection is just as important as ever. Plus, cars are more prone to mechanical issues when they sit unused for long periods of time. Rest assured, we're here for you every step of the way. To learn more about our limited time relief program, including $300 off any protection plan, call 855-794-9461.
11 Alive News Primetime on the ATL starts now.
On this Monday, first tonight, Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms in shock after she tests positive for COVID-19. Just before 6 tonight, about 5:45, she tweeted, "COVID-19 has literally hit home. I had no symptoms and have tested positive." Earlier this evening, the mayor appeared on cable television on MSNBC. She spoke to anchor Joy Reid about contracting the virus.
I will be in one place, in my home office for the next 2 weeks and praying that the rest of my family is healthy. I have, I've talked about my kids before, so they, of course, are a concern. And I was even with my mother on yesterday. And so, I mean, this is startling for me because we've been so very careful. But certainly we are not immune. And again, this is just a lesson to everyone that you have to take every single symptom seriously. And as I see this growing list of symptoms, you can't assume that it's seasonal allergies. You can't assume that a mild cough are your seasonal allergies. We all need to be tested. And in my case, test it regularly because, like I said, this is probably my second test within a month.
The mayor's positive 19 test comes on the heels of a violent weekend in the city of Atlanta. The mayor met with the family of an 8-year-old girl who was killed on Saturday night. She says she notified Sequoia Turner's family about possible exposure to the virus and encouraged them to get tested as well.
Sequoia was shot and killed while riding in a car with her family. It happened only yards from the Wendy's restaurant where Rayshard Brooks was shot and killed by an APD officer last month. That officer has now been fired. That was just one of the violent crimes over the holiday weekend. When the dust settled in Atlanta, 31 people were shot, 5 were killed, a total of 11 incidents. Governor Brian Kemp has obviously seen enough. Today, he issued a state of emergency, which authorizes as many as 1,000 Georgia National Guard troops to be ready. The governor says he made the move to help stop the lawlessness and restore order in Atlanta. He says the safety of our citizens comes first. According to the order, the guards will provide support at state buildings such as the Capitol. The community also coming together in the aftermath of the violent weekend, Jeff.
One Atlanta reverend is taking the responsibility to bring back hope to the neighborhood shaken by violence over the last several weeks. Elwin Lopez spoke to him about the event that he is putting on tomorrow evening.
Our streets now are looking like killing fields.
And now is the time to take our streets back. That's the message from Metro Atlanta Reverend Daryl Winston. This comes after a wave of violence and deadly shootings over the holiday weekend.
We are going to bring spiritual power to bear over the darkness hovering over our city.
Winston, who has been a faith leader in the community for more than 2 decades, is teaming up with Save Our City Coalition. The group includes pastors, activists, and political leaders who are wanting to effect change. Winston is expected to lead a prayer vigil Tuesday night.
This has been a difficult week for us, our church family, having to bury another one of our youth.
On Sunday, the young girl's mother begged for help in finding those responsible.
My baby didn't mean no harm. Somebody knows something.
On Monday, there was a moment of silence at Atlanta City Council's meeting for Sequoia and for other victims in recent shootings across the city. Before that moment of silence, a strong message from Councilwoman Joyce Shepard.
And they kept saying Black lives matter. Let's make sure that Black lives matter. But I pray today that that resonates in us across the city.
And that was Elwin Lopez reporting. Tomorrow's Peace in the Streets prayer vigil is at Ralph David Abernathy Park. That starts at 7 p.m. New tonight, Centennial Olympic Park will remain closed to the public indefinitely. According to the Georgia World Congress Center Authority, which supports the park, the pandemic has hit the hospitality industry so hard. That means there really isn't enough funding to keep the park open to the public.
Georgia's COVID-19 cases dropped today from the previous week, but it is far from a sign that things are getting better. Here's what we know. The Department of Public Health reports that more than 1,500 new cases today. There are a couple of reasons for the drop. A lot of testing locations were closed for the holiday weekend, and there also is a lag in getting results from commercial labs, meaning that there are longer wait times between testing and the results. Even with today's slight decline, our average daily cases for June and the first week of July are more than double than what they were for the month of May. We also have been keeping an eye on testing, and new today, testing was only half of last week's average. We have been averaging 19,000 tests today, and today just 9,000. So we also noticed a spike in ventilator usage today. The Georgia Department of Emergency Management has posted a large increase in ventilator usage. No new numbers were reported over the holiday, but today we did see a large jump. The need for a ventilator is often a sign of the most severe cases, so this is a number that we hope to see trending, at least in the other direction.
Happening tomorrow, reopening plans in the state's largest school district will be on the agenda during a special meeting. The Gwinnett County Board of Education is going to talk about how the pandemic could impact the new school year. Tomorrow's meeting starts at 5 p.m. Right now, students and teachers are scheduled to return August 5th. All right, some stormy weather on deck for the night. Chief Meteorologist Chris Holcomb joining us tonight now with the timeline. Hi, Chris.
Hey, Aisha, we're still watching a few showers out there, but they are weakening a little bit, so I don't think you need to be worried about any, thunder, lightning, storms, anything severe overnight. It's definitely not going to be that, but still just some light showers that are around, and they're going to generally start tapering off a little bit more through some of the overnight hours, and, we're not rain-free, but I don't really think we'll have to worry a lot about storms tonight. You can see these showers along the I-85 corridor, north and east of the city, as well as south and west of the city. A few of those showers that were coming out of Banks County, Northern Hall, now into Dawson County, Gilmer, and Fannin counties have a little bit of moderate rain with it, but they're starting to show signs of weakening too. Here in the city, north side and areas to the west, you're pretty dry right now, but we have these showers east of the downtown connector in parts of DeKalb County, also over near Redan there along I-20, also into areas of Rockdale County, Henry County, seeing some of those showers here on the south side, a little better coverage of that. But again, this is all light. We had some thunder and lightning earlier, but now a lot of that is diminishing as the system area of low pressure that's down to the south of us is going to move to the north and east. Now this is the center of circulation right here of that low. Can you kind of see that counterclockwise flow? It's all centered right around here. Still have some thunder and lightning with that near Macon and just to the south and west of Macon. This is the low that we were watching over the weekend that had some tropical characteristics with it. It's over land now, but once this moves out into the Atlantic, it does have the potential to become an actual tropical depression or a tropical storm. Here's a look at that right now. There is that center of circulation or that center of rotation. And once it moves out into the Atlantic, the National Hurricane Center giving it a 40% chance of development potentially into a depression or a storm. Once this pulls away, it still doesn't take away all of our rain chances. We're going to talk about how much rain we could see for the rest of the week. We'll talk more about that coming up.
New tonight, for the first time, we're hearing from the legal team for a man accused in the death of a high school student in Statesboro.
His attorneys say that their client was defending his life against a racist attack. 21-year-old William Mark Wilson is now charged with aggravated assault and felony murder in the death of 17-year-old Haley Hutchison last month. Wilson is scheduled for a bond hearing tomorrow. His legal team, which includes Atlanta attorneys, spoke to our Hope Forward.
What Mark confronted that night is a black man's worst nightmare.
Mark Wilson's legal team says he and his girlfriend were returning from a late-night trip for fast food when a group of people in a truck started following them.
Yelling phrases like, "Your lives don't matter."
Francis Johnson says witnesses saw his client's car nearly run off the road before Mark fired a warning shot. The bullet hit and killed Haley Hutchison, who was in the truck. Police say the shooting wasn't random. Hutchison's family say she was a loving girl. Her uncle stressing the importance of forgiveness.
There can be mercy, there can be forgiveness, but justice, it has to be served.
But during a virtual news conference Monday, Mark's mom, Amanda, defended her son.
Had the roles been reversed and Mark not reacted the way he did, we would be mourning the loss of two lives, and it would be his and his girlfriend's.
Mark's father, a fire chief, says the family are law-abiding citizens.
We taught them to trust in law enforcement and other legal establishments. However, today, I believe that trust has been broken.
Mawali Davis, a Decatur-based attorney also on Mark's legal team, says Mark had a right to defend himself, and if anyone should be charged with the death of Haley, it should be the people in the truck she was in.
Not only charged with the aggravated assault against Mark Wilson and his girlfriend, but also the death of the passenger in their vehicle.
Mark's defense team says he told police he feared for his life and turned himself in. His legal team didn't say if they believed Haley was in on the alleged attack on Mark and his girlfriend, or if she was just an innocent passenger in the truck.
The city of Stone Mountain is re-examining policies after a large group of demonstrators marched into Stone Mountain Park over the weekend. Many of them were armed. While the demonstration was peaceful and no one was arrested, the group did not have a permit to be there. Thomas Brown says the armed protesters on Saturday did not have a parade permit, but the city's public safety administrator said they were not going to risk an altercation over the issue at the time.
When you take a city as small as Stone Mountain, with our 15 officers, and they are confronted with 200 plus individuals who have obviously outgunned us to do a peaceful demonstration, then we're not going to start talking about permits, and you can't come in without a permit.
For the city of Stone Mountain to be able to go back and charge groups for permits they didn't file in advance, it would take an ordinance change that takes 2 readings and a majority vote by council. The whole process could take a month. This is all new tonight, and it's video we all needed to see after this weekend. A welcome home to Atlanta police officer Max Brewer. Brewer was working the protest in downtown Atlanta on May 30th when he was hit by an ATV. The officer has been in the hospital ever since with some serious injuries to his legs. He is now home, able to start rehab. The man accused of running into Officer Brewer is facing multiple charges.
Really good news to see him with a smile on his face. He still has a long way to go. As coronavirus cases in Georgia continue to rise, so do wait times for test results. What could be causing the holdup?
And despite high unemployment rates, people are feeling pretty good about the economy. We explore why coming up in the next half hour.
Vast majority of people who died had ibuprofen Advil in their system. This message is fake.
We just bought 20 dust masks for $97.
Are you doing this to help people, or are you doing this to make money, or both?
Both.
Take this email sent to the Verify team. Is it safe to have your house cleaned by outside workers? The best practice is to limit guests to emergencies only.
We know things are changing every day, but we're here with you. Continuous COVID-19 coverage during prime time. We're committed to giving you facts, not fear. On 11 Alive News Primetime, weeknights from 8 to 11 on WATF.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Today at noon on 11 Alive.
We are seeing that lack of smell or altered taste can be a symptom.
We answer your coronavirus-related medical questions. Because 11 Alive is where Atlanta speaks.
Televised newscast not enough for you? Get even more at 11 Alive's YouTube channel. While COVID-19 case numbers have increased, some test results are taking just as long as they did during the beginning of the pandemic. Reveal investigator Andy Parati explains how limited testing sites over the holiday weekend didn't help.
While thousands of Georgians watched the skylight up 4th of July weekend outdoors, Daniel Wiggins celebrated quarantined inside his Atlanta home.
I think there's like a little bit of jealousy seeing people go out and about, enjoying their lives while you're trying to be a good citizen and stay in the house.
The 34-year-old took a COVID-19 test Friday morning after a friend he visited started exhibiting symptoms, who later tested positive.
And since I had seen him recently, I was like, oh God, I'm probably in trouble too.
4 days later, Wiggins is still waiting for his results. But even getting a test wasn't easy. Every CVS site he checked was booked. And as of today, 11 Alive found no availability at any Metro Atlanta CVS for the next 3 days, or even through the state's website. The first testing site Wiggins went to, run by an organization called CORE, was closed for the holiday weekend.
So I went all the way back home. And then I heard there was another one open in College Park. So I then went back in my car and then drove out there to go get tested.
Delays as cases continue to rise. In May, the state averaged about 676 COVID cases a day. Over the past 30 days, it's more than doubled. Some test results taking 5 days or more.
I knew a little bit that there was going to be maybe a little bit of a delay, but at the same time, I mean, you know, the virus doesn't delay because it's a holiday weekend. So
Wiggins says he is acting as if he has the virus and will continue to quarantine as the CDC recommends until he knows for sure. The Georgia Department of Public Health says it is maximizing its in-state public labs to ensure swift testing results, but acknowledges commercial private labs are experiencing delays due to the high volume of testing, something they can't control.
And we're still tracking some of those light showers that are out there tonight. Not a lot in the form of heavy rain left over, even though we had some earlier. We had some thunder and lightning earlier. Things are a lot calmer right now, but still a pretty good coverage of at least that light rain from Atlanta, north and east of the city, also south and west of the city. A few of those spotty showers over North Georgia, where we still have a little bit of moderate rain in parts of Gilmer County, southern parts of Fannin County. That was coming out of those areas of Lumpkin County, and that's moving up toward the north and east. These showers around the I-85 corridor just pretty much hanging out here, and we've been talking about this tonight with these showers around that are starting to let up just a little bit. Still some of this on the east side of DeKalb County, parts of Gwinnett County, into areas again along I-85 there in parts of Jackson County, Barrow County, on the south side coming in through parts of Henry County, as well as inside the perimeter. This is just to the east of the downtown connectors on the east side of the perimeter, and on down toward these areas of Clayton County, Henry County, Fayette, Coweta County, some of the lighter showers. Spalding, Pike, Lamar County, seeing some of those lighter showers around as well. And that's all around that area of low pressure. There's the center of that. You see, that's the center of the counterclockwise flow. We have showers and storms in Alabama. Those aren't going to make it here. But what's happening is it's wrapping around some of this Gulf moisture, and even a little bit of Atlantic moisture tries to pull into this, and that swings our way. And that's going to keep us with some of those showers, not only tonight, but also during the day tomorrow as that area of low pressure moves to the east and starts to go through central Georgia and into the Carolinas as well. Take a look at what we're watching right now with the temperatures. And when this rain came in, it really cooled things off. You know, we got up to 87 for a high temperature today, and then the rain came in and it dropped down into the mid 70s. That was a really fast drop in those temperatures with the rain cooled air. And we've been holding in those 70s pretty much for the rest of the evening. And just about all of us are in the 70s, except for Clayton, one of the cooler spots now at 69 degrees. And we're not going to see the temperatures dropping a lot more for the rest of the overnight hours. What you see now is pretty much what you get. We might drop another couple of degrees here by tomorrow morning with clouds around, and then in the morning maybe just a few of those spotty showers that'll be in our area as well. On our scale from 1 to 11, where an 11 is a perfect day, we're going to go with a 4 on the wasometer for your Tuesday, starting off in the low 70s. By afternoon we get up to 83. Not quite as warm today or tomorrow as what we had today with those highs at 83. We'll see a pretty good coverage of clouds around and scattered showers. Again, it's not going to rain all day, but what I want you to see here, remember that area of low pressure, all right? So here's the center of that area of low pressure tomorrow. So you see how that's pulling away and going into the Carolinas. However, even though it's leaving us, it's still not going to clean out our air, and we're still going to see some of that moisture wrapping around back behind us. Some scattered showers at noon. In the afternoon tomorrow, some of those scattered showers around as well, and we might have some moderate to heavy rain at times, maybe even some thunder and lightning, but we don't expect anything severe. And then that'll start tapering off late Tuesday into Wednesday. Maybe a little sunshine breaking through on Wednesday, but again, with some residual moisture left behind and the heating coming in during the day on Wednesday, we'll continue to have some of those scattered showers around in our area. So here's the 7-day outlook, kind of showing that progression of those rain chances at 70% Tuesday, 50% on Wednesday, and then by the end of the week on Thursday and Friday, rain chances coming down to 30%. But notice what happens when the rain chances come down a little bit more, the temperatures go back up, and that's when we might see a little bit more sunshine breaking through some of those clouds with highs in the upper 80s to lower 90s. Rain chance down to 20% on Sunday, then back to 30% on Monday with a high of 89 degrees. Here's your weather wow moment for tonight. This is a beautiful picture from Sam in Roswell. Sam said he just needed to get out, get a little break, get some fresh air, and went through this park in Roswell, Vickery Springs, and saw that beautiful waterfall and just had to take a picture. Thanks for showing that to us, Sam. We would love to see your weather pictures, and we get a lot of these from our 11 Alive community storm trackers, and you can be a part of that group on Facebook. Just search 11 Alive storm trackers. We'll allow you in to become a member of the group when you make that request, and then you can look at everybody else's pictures, weather information, and videos, and submit your own there as well.
All right, thanks, Chris. Coming up after the break, one flight gave a senior with autism a lifelong friend and his flight attendant, and he recently invited her to a very special ceremony.
Sent to the Verify team. Is it safe to have your house cleaned by outside workers? The best practice is to limit guests to emergencies only.
We know things are changing every day, but we're here with you. Continuous COVID-19 coverage during prime time. We're committed to giving you facts, not fear. On 11 Alive News Primetime, weeknights from 8 to 11 on WATF.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Today at noon on 11 Alive.
We are seeing that lack of smell or altered taste can be a symptom.
We answer your coronavirus-related medical questions. Because 11 Alive is where Atlanta speaks.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11 Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11 Alive today.
In times of great uncertainty, some things become more clear. The things we take for granted, the people we depend on daily. Here at 11 Alive, we'd like to say thank you. First responders, medical staff, sanitation workers, truck drivers, postal workers, and every brave Georgian doing their part to make a difference.
One trip has grown into an amazing friendship for a boy with autism and his flight attendant. And as Sean Giggy with our sister station in Dallas reports, she recently received a special invitation.
Thanks to this pandemic, graduates of Central High School in Keller were only allowed a handful of guests. For Garrison Christie, that included his closest family, friends, and flight attendant.
Just a few minutes on a plane changed his life in getting this amazing friend.
It's from the war.
Yeah.
Garrison is autistic. He loves airplanes, and last year, on a flight from Chicago to Dallas, he wanted to tell flight attendant Erica Connolly all about them.
So I was excited to interact with him and hear, let him tell me everything he wanted to share about flying.
When the plane landed, they didn't even have a chance to say goodbye. Everyone went their separate ways, expecting they'd never see each other again. Until the next day, when Garrison got a delivery at school.
It was a book with a note that read, "I was your flight attendant. My dad's a pilot. We really love airplanes too. We found this old airplane guide, and I thought you should have it.
I always try to be just a little bit kinder than what is necessary. I think that if more people took that approach in life, the world would be a little bit of a better place.
Not everyone can be as nice and understanding. So when just for her just to do that, it was seemed so amazing. Because
since then, their friendship has reached a whole new altitude. Garrison got to see inside a Southwest flight simulator, and Erica's dad let him wear his Air Force flight suit. Erica, who's also a photographer, took his senior pictures wearing that suit. It all meant so much to Garrison. He didn't even hesitate when he was told he could only invite 5 people to graduation.
Before he even got to a family member, his first selection was Erica.
She's my favorite.
Any flight attendant can make a passenger feel safe, but only a special few can make them feel loved.
I wish Garrison had a lot more Ericas in his life when it comes to friends. We all need a lot more Ericas in the world.
Imagine the places we could go.
We could all use a few of those tonight, Jeff. Time for me to head out to get ready for Up Late coming up in about 30 minutes on 11 Alive. So if you're up late, I'll see you there with more news and weather.
We look forward to it. Thank you, Aisha. Here's what's coming up on the Big 36. Stay with us. After a family tests positive for COVID-19, their 2-year-old develops that rash. Oh, that looks painful. Their words of caution to all parents coming up next.
This email sent to the Verify team. Is it safe to have your house cleaned by outside workers? The best practice is to limit guests to emergencies only.
We know things are changing every day, but we're here with you. Continuous COVID-19 coverage during prime time. We're committed to giving you facts, not fear. On 11 Alive News Prime Time, weeknights from 8 to 11 on WATF.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Today at noon on 11 Alive.
We are seeing that lack of smell or altered taste can be a symptom.
We answer your coronavirus-related medical questions. Because 11 Alive is where Atlanta speaks.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11 Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11 Alive today.
In times of great uncertainty, some things become more clear. The things we take for granted, the people we depend on daily. Here at 11 Alive, we'd like to say thank you. First responders, medical staff, sanitation workers, truck drivers, postal workers, and every brave Georgian doing their part to make a difference. We see you, we hear you, and we appreciate all that you do.
Let's start with a viral message going around. Quote, vast majority of people who died had ibuprofen Advil in their system. This message is fake.
We just bought 20 dust masks for $97.
Are you doing this to help people or are you doing this to make money or both?
Both. Take this email sent to the Verify team. Is it safe to have your house cleaned by outside workers? The best practice is to limit guests to emergencies only.
We know things are changing every day, but we're here with you. Continuous COVID-19 coverage during prime time. We're committed to giving you facts, not fear. on 11 Alive News Primetime, weeknights from 8 to 11 on WATF.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact.
Packed beaches and lakes over the holiday weekend have so many concerned about surging COVID-19 numbers. According to the CDC, more than 44,000 new cases reported today nationwide, and a family is now sharing their journey toward recovery after their 2-year-old contracted COVID-19 and everybody else in the household also tested positive. Emily Correll with our sister station in Columbia, South Carolina, shares their story and some of the symptoms, which are very strange.
You feel it all better? Yeah.
The Moses family, Aaron, Michael, Grant, and Sawyer Kate, are on the tail end of their quarantine after COVID-19 spread through their family, starting with 2.5-year-old Sawyer Kate.
She ate dinner. It was a completely normal day. She didn't have any symptoms during the day. And then that night, we were getting ready for bed, and she spiked a fever. Like, it kind of came out of nowhere.
That fever lasted for 3 days, during which Sawyer Kate was tested for COVID-19. A few days later, after the rest of the family started to experience symptoms, her test came back positive.
And then her symptoms really seemed to kind of taper off from there. Like, they would come and go. So it would be like, 1 or 2 days she was completely normal, and then she'd wake up the next day throwing up again. So that was what was a little odd about it, is that the symptoms kind of came and went.
The rest of the family tested positive and began to quarantine and treat their symptoms. One morning, Erin noticed her daughter scratching her legs uncontrollably at what looked like little bug bites.
I blamed the cat. My husband was like, this cat, like, you can't stand cat anyway. And so we thought it was just, like fleas or something. And we treated her with Benadryl. And then it wasn't until like later that day that I was, hold on, this isn't fleas. This was like a rash.
Their pediatrician recommended they go to the hospital, where Sawyer Kate went through numerous tests that all came back with normal results. The rash ended up being an afterthought of the virus. The doctor called it a post-viral inflammatory response.
I think that, for one, this absolutely can be contracted and spread by children. And even though she had a favorable outcome, it's a really terrible experience to have to sit in an emergency room with your 2-year-old while they're getting poked and prodded and screaming and terrified, and having to like be part of the team holding them down while they're like screaming for help. It's something that no one should have to do. And so, yeah.
The entire family is now on the road to recovery.
All right, some science is suggesting that good air filters could be of help in trying to get rid of the virus in enclosed spaces. So let's connect the dots between reopening the country and air filters.
As we learn more about coronavirus, we're learning more about how to stop the spread. And one of the ways could be a really good air filter. Let's connect the dots. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo recently announced that no large mall in the state could reopen without an air filtration system that can filter out COVID-19. This comes as infectious disease experts start to agree that this virus is aerosolized. Basically, that means it hangs out in small particles in the air, possibly for hours. That increases the danger in small enclosed spaces like offices and restaurants. One solution is better ventilation. One of the most practical ways to do that is to use high-grade HEPA filters in ventilation systems. Those can filter out many of the tiny droplets that contain the coronavirus. The only problem is most residential systems can't handle the highest grade HEPA filters. You need a large system with a motor strong enough to pull and push air through. So what can a homeowner do? First, install the highest grade filter your HVAC system can handle. It's also recommended by the EPA that you run the fan on your system because air is only pushed through that filter when the fan is on. In-room air purifiers with HEPA-rated filters also help, but experts say one of the simplest and most low-tech ways to increase ventilation in your home is to simply open a window.
All right, let's stay on the theme of COVID-19. Should you wear a mask while exercising outdoors? That's a question that keeps resurfacing. Our Verified team is digging into new guidance from the World Health Organization.
COVID-19 policies and precautions are constantly changing, and that's why the Verified team is here. And we've been getting a lot of questions about these masks and whether you should be wearing them while you're exercising outside. So we're verifying, is there a hard and fast rule about wearing a mask while exercising outdoors? And remember, what we're saying is purely from a public health standpoint. So obviously, you still need to listen to state and local laws about what to do with these masks. Our Verify researchers looked at the guidance from the World Health Organization, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, and we spoke with Dr. Linda Nabha, an infectious disease specialist at the University of Pittsburgh Medical Center. Let's start with the World Health Organization, which published this graphic in mid-June that says, quote, people should not wear masks when exercising, as masks may reduce the ability to breathe comfortably. The graphic goes on to say that a sweaty, wet mask can make it more difficult to breathe and encourage the growth of microorganisms. They say your best bet is to maintain a physical distance of at least 1 meter from others, which is over 3 feet.
I think it really depends on where you are.
Dr. Linda Nabha helped put this WHO guidance in perspective and says for her it's case by case. For example, somebody who's running in a rural area is going to be a lot different from somebody else who's walking in a busy, crowded destination spot in the city.
If you're briskly walking along the Potomac River, for example, in Washington, D.C., where plenty of people are out walking, that's a particular situation where I think a mask would certainly be warranted, especially if you're not doing heavy exercise.
Meanwhile, the CDC doesn't specifically address the issue, but has issued this guidance. People who are engaged in high-intensity activities like running may not be able to wear a cloth face covering if it causes difficulty breathing. If unable to wear a cloth face covering, consider conducting the activity in a location with greater ventilation and air exchange. For instance, outdoors versus indoors, and where it is possible to maintain physical distance from others. So we can verify there's just no hard and fast rule here for outdoor exercising. It's all case by case. With your Verify, this is Evan Kozloff.
A former Minneapolis police officer charged in the death of George Floyd now is out of jail, according to jail records. Tao Thao posted bond on Saturday. 3 of the 4 officers charged in Mr. Floyd's death have now been released. Floyd died as a result of an arrest on May 25th, sparking worldwide protest over police brutality and racial injustice. He is now expected in court in September on charges of aiding and abetting second-degree murder and aiding and abetting second-degree manslaughter. Country music and Southern rock legend, the one and only Charlie Daniels, has died. Shown here performing at Farm Aid in 1985. He was one of a kind. The Country Music Hall of Fame, playing The Devil Went Down to Georgia. He was looking for a soul to steal. Oh yeah, there he is right there. He was also a great supporter of veterans around the country and also underprivileged children. Fans of all music genres will remember the Charlie Daniels Band for that great tune, The Devil Went Down to Georgia. According to his publicist, Charlie Daniels died this morning after suffering a stroke. He was 83. Last week saw a better than expected jobs report for the United States, with the unemployment rate falling to 11%. But even before that, consumers were expressing confidence in the economy. June's Consumer Confidence Index increased for the 2nd month in a row, despite the growing number of COVID-19 cases. But why? Here's our Why Guy.
Across the country, it's easy to find business owners who are discouraged.
We're shut down. We don't have a kitchen. We don't serve food.
The nation continues to struggle with a pandemic that won't let go. And yet there is confidence. The country's Consumer Confidence Index not only increased in June, it jumped more than economic experts predicted. Let's look at why. The monthly index is based on a survey of 5,000 households. Homeowners are quizzed about their view of the economy's health and where they see it 6 months in the future.
Economic momentum is driven by how people are feeling.
While the confidence index is still well below what it was before the pandemic, June's number is significantly higher than it was in May. The survey ended June 18th as Georgia and other states were experiencing a sharp rise in new COVID-19 cases. Emory economics professor Tom Smith says consumers are likely clinging to the bright spots.
The Nasdaq soaring 30%.
The stock market has reacted positively to the most recent upbeat jobs report. Amazon and Netflix are among the companies that have experienced record highs on the market.
I think people are looking for anything that can give them some hope.
Smith says the rise in the Consumer Confidence Index could have long-term impacts.
If people see these numbers and say, my fellow consumer has confidence, and so I'm going to have the same kind of confidence, that's the kind of economic traction that we need.
Despite the show of confidence, economic experts say it's too early to say consumers are ready to start spending like they were before the pandemic.
If you have a question for Jerry Carnes, one of the great UGA Bulldogs of all time, our Y Guy, you can send it to us on Facebook, Twitter, or email. The Supreme Court has made a game-changing decision about the Electoral College. More on how it could impact future elections coming up next.
We continue to track some of those light showers that we have around Metro Atlanta right now, North Georgia and areas south and west of the city. Stay with us. We're tracking an area of low pressure on the south side. We'll let you know what happens with that when it moves off to the east.
You too, Chris, are one of the great Georgia Bulldogs. There it is, back to back. Coming up, another Brave starter has announced he is sitting out the season over COVID. Is there going to be a baseball season? Maybe you're more optimistic than me. I am pessimist on this front, sadly. And with that, we go to commercial.
Message is fake.
We just bought 20 dust masks for $97.
Are you doing this to help people or are you doing this to make money or both?
Both. Take this email sent to the Verify team. Is it safe to have your house cleaned by outside workers? The best practice is to limit guests to emergencies only.
We know things are changing every day, but we're here with you. Continuous COVID-19 coverage during prime time. We're committed to giving you facts, not fear. On 11 Alive News Primetime, weeknights from 8 to 11 on WATF.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Today at noon on 11 Alive.
We are seeing that lack of smell or altered taste can be a symptom.
We answer your coronavirus-related medical questions. Because 11 Alive is where Atlanta speaks.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11 Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11 Alive today.
Let's start with a viral message going around. Quote, vast majority of people who died had ibuprofen Advil in their system. This message is fake.
We just bought 20 dust masks for $97.
Are you doing this to help people or are you doing this to make money or both?
Both. Take this email sent to the Verify team. Is it safe to have your house cleaned by outside workers? The best practice is to limit guests to emergencies only.
We know things are changing every day, but we're here with you. Continuous COVID-19 coverage during prime time. We're committed to giving you facts, not fear. On 11 Alive News Primetime, weeknights from 8 to 11 on WATF.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Today, a Supreme Court ruling on a case focused on the presidential election. The question before the court: must Electoral College members vote along with most voters in their states? Today, the Supreme Court made it clear electors cannot go rogue. Here's NBC's Susan McGinnis with the very latest.
Today, from the Supreme Court, a ruling that closes a loophole in the U.S. electoral system that has existed since the writing of the Constitution, and one that eliminates a concern looming over the 2020 election. Today, the High Court ruling members of the Electoral College are not free agents and must cast their votes in accordance with voters in their states.
If the Electoral College was very, very closely divided, there could have been a big fight, a real attempt to get electors who are pledged to, say, Joe Biden or to President Trump to switch sides.
Many Americans are unaware when they cast a ballot, they are in fact voting for a slate of electors who later get together and make the results official. Until today, there was no rule prohibiting those electors from choosing a different candidate. In writing the court's decision, Justice Elena Kagan said a state may instruct electors that they have no ground for reversing the vote of millions of its citizens. The case began with several electors who sued after they refused to vote for Hillary Clinton in 2016, even though she won their states. Legal experts say the ruling blunts what could have been huge drama in the upcoming election.
What they've decided to do is just say, hey, states, you've got the power to punish these so-called faithless electors who switch their views.
While electors can be compelled to go with voters in their states and potentially penalized if they don't, the question remains whether they can be stopped from doing it.
The more we watch these showers, the more they begin to break up a little bit and weaken. It's mainly light stuff. We had a pretty good little connection here of these showers, but now we have a few holes in between that, and that is showing us signs that the light showers are breaking up there along I-85. We still have this rain in Gilmer County and parts of Fannin County as well, mainly light. A couple of pockets of moderate rain just to the east of Ellijay, and then also up here into Whitfield and Murray County, a couple of moderate showers there. Those are moving toward the north and also to the west. Here in Atlanta, you can see how this light rain is breaking up along I-85. Those showers that were on the east side of the perimeter are now breaking up a little bit more. Still some light rain around Redan, along I-20 in DeKalb County. A little bit of light rain in Snellville, Rockdale County, moving on over into parts of Walton County too. And then these on the south side are showing signs of breaking up a little bit more too. Light rain in Coweta County, also down into Troup County near LaGrange. And as we've been telling you all along, this is all part of that area of low pressure that originated in the Gulf of Mexico, had some tropical characteristics with it. It's now inland. There's the center of that circulation just to the south and west of Macon. That's going to keep moving up toward the north and east through Georgia and South Carolina tomorrow, and then eventually back out into the Atlantic. Take a look at what else we're watching out there with this live look in Newnan. The roads are still wet. Just the light rain that's coming through that area right now, nothing particularly heavy. And as we go through the rest of the day tomorrow, we're going to still hold on to some of that tropical moisture. Even though that area of low pressure is going to move into East Georgia and eventually into South Carolina, nothing's really going to be cleaning out our air, and we'll have some residual moisture left behind that. So that just leads to an unsettled week. We will see the rain chances going down a little bit for at least the end of the week, but they don't totally go away. And as the rain chances go down, the temperatures are going to warm up a little bit more too. Today it was hot, got up to 87, but that's still a couple of degrees lower than where we should be for this time of year. We should be around 89 for our average high on a day on today's date. Our low this morning was 73. That's also a couple of degrees above average. And look at this. Here in Atlanta, we picked up more than an inch of rain, and that gives us a surplus right there at 13.75 inches. For the rest of the night tonight, temperatures pretty much holding steady in those lower 70s, and then just a few spotty showers overnight. I'm really not worried about much in the form of thunder and lightning overnight, but then during the day tomorrow, some of those scattered showers could have some thunder and lightning with them, but we don't expect it to be severe. A 4 on the wazometer, highs near 83 degrees. As we see the rain chances tomorrow at about 70%, then we go down to 50% chance on Wednesday. That's as that low pulls away, and just that residual moisture mixing in with the heating will give us a little better coverage of scattered showers. And then fewer showers Thursday, Friday, and Saturday with a 30% chance for rain. But watch how the temperatures go up to 89 Thursday, lower 90s Friday and Saturday. Sunday, lower 90s with only a 20% chance for a shower, and then a 30% chance again on Monday.
Sports on this Monday night. The Major League Baseball schedule is out. Braves are going to open on the road against the Mets on Friday, July 24th, and then they will play a game at Truist Park against the Rays on July 29th. But I'll tell you what, we have a very long way to go until then. The first 4 days of Braves camp has not been very good at all. It has been rocky, and today Nick Markakis is such an important player in that clubhouse, so important on this roster toward their success, has elected not to play in this 2020 season. Alex Glaze tells us how he came to that decision.
It wasn't an easy decision.
I think that's the right decision for myself and my family.
Nick Markakis has decided to opt out of the 2020 season. Markakis is a 14-year veteran who's been a pillar in the Braves locker room since 2015. His presence in the clubhouse is something that will be missed this season.
The ultimate pro, and you know, we'll miss him. I mean, he's one of our backbones of our club, and I know he's been thinking long and hard about it. I had a long talk with him yesterday, and we fully respect his position.
Markakis made his decision after a phone call with teammate Freddie Freeman, who tested positive for COVID-19.
You know, just hearing the way he sounded on the phone kind of opened my eyes, and you know, Freddie didn't sound good. I just hope every team and organization out there is careful with their players. You know, we're not just machines going out there. We're human beings, and the safety is a big concern.
I sit here every night reading these maps around the country. I mean, if you think you're going to be playing Major League Baseball uninterrupted, you can forget about it. Anyway, here's some of what has transpired over the last few days. It gives you an idea of just, you know, where they are going, where they have been, and where they're trying to go as they move forward. Brian Snitker's got a tough place here. Now, with the list of players opting out and testing positive expected to grow, should there be more concerns with the Braves? Maria Martin is with our Braves expert, Grant McAuley.
When you hear a veteran like Nick Markakis say that he's not going to play this baseball season and that his conversation with Freddie Freeman kind of put him over the edge, what was your initial thought?
Yeah, I think this is kind of what we've been waiting on, is for that first really, you know, known player that really you identify with the Braves. And for a guy like Nick Markakis, especially, who's been with this club for 5 years, who has had a long and good, very good Major League career, he's at a point where I think he does have to weigh a lot of other things, not only his health, but also whether or not these are the conditions that he wants to play under.
Are we nervous about the Braves at all from this point on?
Yeah, I think you have to be. Again, you can't take anything for granted, and you can't take anybody's status for granted either. But seeing a couple of hiccups or roadblocks or whatever you want to call it when it comes to the testing and the results and the timeliness of them, that starts to make me wonder if we're not starting to see a few cracks that at the very least need to be addressed, and at worst could lead to more problems down the line.
Give me your bullet points of what absolutely needs to happen with Major League Baseball to make sure this thing starts running here in a couple weeks.
They have to make sure that this testing, that any bugs and any hiccups that they had have been addressed. We cannot have uncertainty inside of the health protocols. They're going to have to be very proactive about this. Playing the game of baseball or playing any game is the easy part. It's getting everybody onto the field, keeping them safe, getting them off the field, and bringing them back on a daily basis. I think is going to be the big challenge.
The MLS is back tournament scheduled to begin on Wednesday, but late this afternoon, FC Dallas officially pulled out of the tournament. They've got 10 players who have tested positive for coronavirus. I mean, here we go again. So they will leave the MLS bubble in Orlando. As for Atlanta United, they arrived at Disney on Sunday. So far, everything is good. That's according to one player.
Overall, it's pretty safe. The bubble, I guess, there's been some cases going around, and yeah, I've seen it on Twitter and stuff, but I think they've done a good job with the protocols. The masks, mandatory masks, there's hand sanitizer everywhere. No, I think it's pretty safe.
Well, I hope I'm wrong about all this. I hope so. And that's enough pessimism for one night, right? We'll take a break. We're back right after this.
In times of great uncertainty, some things become more clear. The things we take for granted, the people we depend on daily. Here at 11 Alive, we'd like to say thank you. First responders, medical staff, sanitation workers, truck drivers, postal workers, and every brave Georgian doing their part to make a difference. We see you, we hear you, and we appreciate all that you do.
Let's start with a viral message going around. Quote, vast majority of people who died had ibuprofen Advil in their system. This message is fake.
We just bought 20 dust masks for $97.
Are you doing this to help people, or are you doing this to make money, or both?
Both.
Take this email sent to the Verify team. Is it safe to have your house cleaned by outside workers? The best practice is to limit guests to emergencies only.
We know things are changing every day, but we're here with you. Continuous COVID-19 coverage during prime time. We're committed to giving you facts, not fear. On 11 Alive News Primetime, weeknights from 8 to 11 on WATF.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Today at noon on 11 Alive.
We are seeing that lack of smell or altered taste can be a symptom.
We answer your coronavirus-related medical questions. Because 11 Alive is where Atlanta speaks.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11 Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11 Alive today.
Here's a look at what's left of those spotty light rain showers around metro Atlanta. A couple of moderate showers to the north, also to the south. These will taper off a little bit during the evening hours tonight, but we're not finished with the rain yet. More scattered showers tomorrow, 70% chance. That goes down to a 50% chance Wednesday, then lower rain chances for the end of the week and the weekend. But with that, temperatures go back up to near 90. We'll talk more about that on Up Late at 11.
And we appreciate all that you do.
Let's start with a viral message going around. Quote, vast majority of people who died had ibuprofen Advil in their system. This message is fake.
We just bought 20 dust masks for $97.
Are you doing this to help people or are you doing this to make money or both?
Both. Take this email sent to the Verify team. Is it safe to have your house cleaned by outside workers? The best practice is to limit guests to emergencies only.
We know things are changing every day, but we're here with you. Continuous COVID-19 coverage during prime time. We're committed to giving you facts, not fear. On 11 Alive News Primetime, weeknights from 8 to 11 on WATF.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Today at noon on 11 Alive.
We are seeing that lack of smell or altered taste can be a symptom.
We answer your coronavirus-related medical questions. Because 11 Alive is where Atlanta speaks.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11 Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11 Alive today.
start with a viral message going around. Quote, vast majority of people who died had ibuprofen Advil in their system. This message is fake.
We just bought 20 dust masks for $97.
Are you doing this to help people or are you doing this to make money or both?
Both. Take this email sent to the Verify team. Is it safe to have your house cleaned by outside workers? The best practice is to limit guests to emergencies only.
We know things are changing every day, but we're here with you. Continuous COVID-19 coverage during prime time. We're committed to giving you facts, not fear. On 11 Alive News Primetime, weeknights from 8 to 11 on